Hello. Hello, I'm 15 minutes late. Apologies for being 15 minutes late. What the hell are we doing today? Doing stuff in Firefox. Doing more lore for Scribe. Where are you? Hold on, am I in the wrong day? One moment. Yep. Wait, no. There, it just wasn't. It appears for a second and then it disappears. Okay, all right, fine. Just the one fucking day that I have to be doing other things right before the stream. It's got to be weird. Okay, I just had to turn it off and back on. Hello, Greg. Hi.
Hello there.
Hello, Team Worm. Also, Team Worm, Durg was not complaining about being late because I messaged him on Discord to be like, sorry, dude, I'm going to be late. Although, it is uncommon Durg restraint to not say anything at all in chat about being excited for the stream to start. Okay, 1 second. This music is quite loud for me. Lower that a little bit. Okay, all right. So now we're good. So, last time, what did we do? So 2 times ago, we made our little, like, preliminary map. And then we kind of decided on, like, a generic biome for each zone in the map. And then some elements that will be featured in that biome. The elements will influence the creatures that appear there, the kinds of plants that appear there, the puzzles that are there. And if there's a town, and that town has a gym, the gym leader will be they'll be the main element. You were really into a politics VOD and thought you were going to be late. Well, I guess you weren't, because I was later. Hi, Crazy Pants. But it does seem like maybe we lost Durg, though. So it's a good lesson to people who, even if they have like 2 or 3 viewers, 4 viewers. Oh my God, I have 4 viewers. Don't be late, because then you might lose your most interactive viewers. Dirk died of no stream. Oh, that's so sad. He's probably fine. Hopefully he's fine. Okay, so I might be a little slow today. I was at physical therapy. I had my first physical therapy appointment. It was the first one, so it wasn't that intense. They were like, do these stretches for 15 seconds. And I was like, fucking joke's on you. I do that stretch every day for a minute, multiple times a day. I literally just did them. Greg is being a bit extra. Hey. She's being weirdly sweet. Usually she like attacks me to get attention, but like right now she's being nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and enjoy it. We'll get to world building in a moment. Oh, I'm like sweaty. Oh no, she's like a sweaty cat. So Thomas, our middle cat. Well, he's the largest cat physically, but age-wise, he's in the middle. Oh my God, Greg. Oh no, this could be a problem. If you have sweaty armpits, Thomas will headbutt and try to dig to get into your armpits. Like, I don't know what he's gonna do when he gets there. I think he just wants to like rub himself on your armpit so it smells more like him and not like your weird stink. Like, I think it's him being like, you smell weird. You should smell more like me. Don't smell. Your smells are trying to compete with my smells. Don't do that. So it seems like Greg is maybe extra into me because I'm a little sweaty right now. It's nicer than she is sometimes. Like sometimes she just hangs out on the ground and she claws at me and bites at my elbows. But I can't really do anything. Okay, Greg, if I ignore you, okay, don't knock over the microphone. Don't knock over the kombucha. Oh my God. Okay, so I guess we're just going to try to get work done. Since Greg is still currently being like isolated from the other cats because she's a monster and will attack them, I can't just get rid of her. I honestly, actually, she loves the closet. She always wants to go in the closet. I could probably just put her in the closet. But that feels mean. Oh my God, she's fucking crazy. Okay, so what the fuck? What is the goal today? The goal today is we're going to choose like some cultural influences for each of the regions that we're working on. And like we could go really like grounded with it. Like, for example, oh my God, Greg, if we ended up making the first biome a bamboo forest. Oh my, hey. Oh my God, she like actually like bit me. Okay, ma'am. Hey. She did more than just like a playful little nibble. She was like tugging on my flesh. Oh my God. Hey, Crazy Pants. Could we put the other cats in the bedroom and maybe banish Greg out of here to the rest of the house, because she's losing her fucking mind about my sweaty smells. Bruh, yeah, I know. I don't know, man. Okay, she's eating now. Maybe we're okay. Okay, so like I was saying, if the first biome was a temperate forest, but instead we specifically decided like, okay, it's a bamboo forest. This was just an idea I had. I need to come up with some kind of unique characteristic beyond temperate forest. Then like you could think like, okay, the culture should be places where bamboo would grow, like some kind of Asian culture. That should be the culture associated with this place. But I kind of want to just like not do that. I kind of like, I don't know, what if you had like a different cultural architectural influence, just cultural influence in general. So like architecture will be the major way that you see it influenced. It'll be the major way you see the influence represented in the game, because the buildings will be different. But also even things like paths, the people, the things they do, the things they eat, potentially even folklore associated with the culture could influence the beasts that are found there. That for sure I want to do. So not could, it will influence the beasts that are found there. So yeah, I don't really have like a thought about how exactly to do that. I don't want to just do it randomly. Maybe I think about like the major element and what would flow well from the major element. But I don't know, like corrosion as a magical element. No culture seems like they would be associated with corrosion. So that kind of seems like a non-starter. I don't know. I guess I'll just go. I'll choose whichever ones I'm most familiar with, maybe, because then it'd be easier to design something. Greg is a problem child right now. Ugh. Okay, how do we do this? We could think about like, I don't know, that like Hawaiian culture is very okay, so hold on. So I think a problem with this would be, we're just gonna feel this out. Part of, I think, why you would see a game that has areas like, let's say, a bamboo forest, and then they have a matching culture for that area, like Japanese culture, would be because the architecture of Japanese culture would be governed or influenced by the materials that are available. And so if we decided, say, to put like Irish culture in a bamboo forest, we would have to like reimagine Irish architecture, but instead of it being made out of like stones and like traditional like masonry, oh my god, what's the glue for masonry? Like grout, but old-timey grout. We would have to reimagine that, but how they would do it out of materials that would be found in like a bamboo forest. I don't know, that's kind of cool. That could be interesting. Okay, hold on. Let me think about that. So let's look up like traditional Irish architecture. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of stones, a lot of stone stuff. And I guess like you would have stones in a bamboo forest. Music, did you just like die? No, you're there. Okay. Weird. Okay. But then all the accents and things, like you maybe wouldn't have traditional shingles. You'd have like bamboo shingles or something on the roofs. I don't know. I think we can make it work. It doesn't really have to make a whole lot of sense. It's a world of magic. It's fine. Okay, so then fine. I'm just gonna choose what cultures do I want to do the most. Also, last time we made a list of like ancient cultures that will visually influence all of the modern cultures that will be in the game. And since the game is kind of like medieval but with like a steampunk twist to it, so there will be like, like, I don't know, flying ships exist, cars might exist in some places, but they're all fun, weird steam cars, like no modern technology, just kind of a fun like super retro future. Like what did people in the Victorian period, whatever they thought the future would be like? So like, yeah, like super retro future. So then these cultures will be represented at that time period, but then potentially influenced or surrounded by ruins of cultures that have these like ancient influences is the I think the general idea that we were coming up with last time. Right. Okay, so then you know what? Let's just go ahead and decide how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 different things, 12 different cultures. It is a lot of cultures. And then 15, we have 15 areas. So I am kind of thinking that some of the later, like more difficult areas, so just as a review, the idea is that the region in which, or the nation in which this game takes place, this thick dividing line divides it, and in the lower section is an area that's like ravaged by a magical maelstrom. So these areas don't really have a lot of civilization. There's not townsfolk. At best, this one little spot that I've noted, there'll be like an adventurer's outpost of people who are venturing into this place to like collect sweet loots. But these areas don't necessarily need like modern influences. And if anything, the idea would be that like maybe, I don't know, if you, let's say region 14 was influenced by like Irish culture. Region 15, you might see remnants of towns that were once influenced by Irish culture, but then like the magical maelstrom storm came in and fucked shit up. And then, so those people like retreated back to region 14. So then that really means we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas that don't have their own unique regional influence necessarily. And perhaps they'll have more representation of ancient ruins, because people haven't lived there for a long time, or maybe never lived there because, I don't know, there aren't towns everywhere. Region 6 doesn't have a town. So shit. Okay, so then what was the deal? Region 15, why do you have an asterisk? I swear the asterisks were supposed to be for cities, but Region 15 you shouldn't have. Oh, right, you're the old capital city. Okay. and you've been all fucked up. I guess I decided to mark that as a city over here. That's probably not a good idea. Yeah, we're gonna take that off. Great. Okay, so then we'll just go through these in order. And then we need like 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10. There are 10 areas, but one of them has no town. One of them has no town. Okay, so then we do in fact need 9 different influences. We have too many. Okay, so maybe I just cut some. Damn, okay, Maori culture, I don't actually know that much about. I'm not attached to it. Maybe same with French culture. Like it's... I feel like French and English culture are kind of boring. I know that's really mean, but like I feel like a lot of that inspiration has affected American like building architectural culture, even like city designs and things. And that's, so to me that's like boring. But I don't know, like maybe I should have something like that represented. A kind of boring town. God, that sounds mean. It's just like the things I'm used to are boring, so it's not any actual dig on French, English, or American architecture. Or culture. Okay, VLC keeps doing this really interesting thing where it is just resetting the volume to 15%. And then I'm like, why is the music not playing? Hold on, let me... Yeah. It keeps doing that. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try resetting this real quick. What a day. What a fucking day. Okay, let's try this again. Are we cool? You're at 100%. Is OBS picking you up? It is. All right, great. Maybe it's solved. Maybe not. Okay. Back to the chopping list. So we could kind of do what I had thought of for Spanish in Mexico and Japan and Korea and like fusing them because they have similar heritage, but they did become unique and differentiated. It'd be interesting to combine like Indian and Persian. Seems kind of fun. Also, as a quick recap, Ndebele architecture is this shit. And I don't know how you look at this shit and don't think like, yeah, duh. That's how our houses should look. Like, what the fuck is... It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. So they're definitely staying, I guess was my point. Okay, Finland? I don't know. Could we combine French and Finnish? Also weird that some of these lists, some of the names on the list are just like the country and some of them are the adjective version of the country name. So like French and France, then like Ukraine instead of Ukrainian. I don't know. Okay, we're at 10. Just one more. Who's gonna go? Or be combined? I mean, I guess maybe the answer is French and Finnish. All right. Sure, I guess that'll give me the leeway that I want. And actually, so I have Vietnam here because every cooking show that I've seen Vietnam represented in when people go to Vietnam looks cool. And everybody's been super nice in those videos. Just hospitable. And then also this kept coming up on a list of underrepresented like locations in games that are inspired by Vietnamese architecture or culture in general. But then the question is, do I think this is like too similar to Japanese and Korean? It's not really. The this kind of roof shape seems pretty common. But the shingles used seem quite different for all the Vietnamese buildings. They're like, I don't know, they have more texture to them. That's too far away to tell. Also, whatever the hell this is, this looks fucking cool. It's like they're hats. The building has a hat. Very cute. I don't think that counts as traditional architecture. Oh, that shit's cool looking. All right. Okay, so I've decided I'm just putting the country names. And then we'll just go with it. So, what area do I think would be good? Or I kind of want to put like Vietnam and then Japan, Korea like next to each other. With this idea of like this place is incredibly multicultural because at one point it was like a place that was sacred to every culture. Like shoot, the place in the Middle East everybody fights over. It's like that, except if like everybody valued this region and didn't fight over it. And so then every culture is represented as having like a little town or a city here. But then over time, this place kind of grew into its own multicultural place with its own identity. The kind of the way that America has multiculturalism as part of its identity. And so then honestly, I guess for that reason, it doesn't really matter where I put any culture. Okay, fine. So, do I feel like Ndebele fits with anything? Any specific element? Shit, I totally... Thank you, Google. I just fucked that up. Okay. So our elements are all of these. Shoot, but I don't know which ones are represented as cities. Okay, great. It's everything but these. Electric, water, sound, and cosmic. So then let's go in here. I'm gonna bold those. Okay. So the bolded ones are, there are no cities with those elements. Damn, you'd think water would be important. Yeah, I'm not going to tweak it now. Okay, wait, maybe I am. Okay, hold on. Because really, like, these are supposed to be the, like, weirder elements. And so maybe if we could swap things around to end up with an electric and a water city, but to not have a psychic and a force city. So let's find those and think about it. This might be an easy swap. Okay. So this tropical forest is the place with psychic. And we would want to put either electric or water in there. So I think we could put in electric and then put psychic in the jungle. So we would swap them. And actually, honestly, a tropical forest, especially if I make it like a mangrove themed, seems like that would be the place for water. And then we could change the brutal coastline to be electric influenced. Do feel like I would also want water in here. Okay, and shit, that doesn't fully achieve what I want because now we have a water city. That's what this asterisk represents. So we would have a water gym leader instead of a psychic one. Okay, but then I do want to add water as a minor element here. This might work out. Let's see. How overrepresented is water? We ended up representing everything very evenly. Honestly, I don't think it would be the end of the world to underrepresent corrosion and overrepresent water. Yeah, sure. Okay, so now water is represented 5 times, corrosion only 3. And we now would have psychic as an Elite 4. And so then the other one would be electric. I want to have electric wherever force is. Where is force? Okay, region 5 is shit. Region 4 and 5 were the problems. Okay, so then we would want to make you electric. And then that would mean we need to put force somewhere that electric is. One of these two. Okay, well, not the Thunder Plains. All right. And so then now these guys are the Elite 4 elements. I think I set that up right. Okay, so right now we have an electric city and a water city. Yeah, okay, great. So now I just need to decide where to put the cultures. Oh, how do we do that? What cultures would you most associate with water? I feel like Hawaiian culture is most associated with water. So, okay, apparently I'm changing font sizes. Let's not do that. That was annoying. So let's do that. We'll put Hawaiian culture for the water, the like tropical coastal forest, maybe mangrove forest place. And then what else really stands out? Is there any, like, do any of these cultures scream some kind of biome to me? Like Vietnam and Japan and Korea all make me think of rice, which makes me think of rice paddies. Which makes me think of like flat, flooded farmland. Flat, flooded farmland. Yeah, that doesn't really jump out at me as anything. Ireland feels mountainous. All of its traditional rocky buildings. Ooh, Ireland being where the ice place is? That seems pretty cool. That sounds fun. Why not? Okay. Ooh, what about fire? Who says fire? Maybe Ndebele. Africa's hot. Lots of Africa is hot. I don't know if Ndebele is in a hot region. It's so hard because a lot of like how I think about designing a game is like grounded in thematic feels. I want the sense of immersion to be very high. This doesn't feel like I have a good lead. Oh yeah, Crazy Pants, good point. Hawaii is often tied to fire because of lava. That's an interesting point. Okay, well, one of the sub-elements of the tropical forest is fire. So we could have it be like a sweet, like, volcanic area. So I think that still works out. But yeah, I don't get any like elemental vibes. Now, actually, the Japan/Korea, I kind of get elemental electric vibes from, but that's because of Genshin Impact. So I'm gonna ignore that feeling. Oh, hey, Greg just like leaving me alone now. I didn't even fucking realize. Oh. Because she's found something in the closet to try and pull out from under the door. All right. No, that's cool. That's cool, Greg. You do you. You do you. Okay, fire. What would be cool? Would Ndebele fit there? Is there something else that I feel like Ndebele would fit with better? Ndebele is so colorful. Nah, that's fine. And then like for the earliest area, I feel like I need to, before I whittle the list down too much, I feel like I want to have something that I think could look cool, but that I feel like I have a good grasp on. If I'm going to be essentially I feel like I will have designed the art for the first area before I try to be like going to get help from people on the internet to be like, hey, support my game. Can you do art for it? Do you want to do art for it? Do you want to... I don't know. Maybe if I made a Kickstarter for this game, it would be after I had designed the first area and had a working demo of it. So I want this to be some kind of culture that I would really enjoy doing art for, and I think that's going to be Japan, Korea. The idea of doing pixel art stuff for Japanese or Korean culture, it sounds really fun. They're fun little roofs. What are those roofs called? How do you even term for the type of roofs seen in Japanese buildings? A gable roof, or a hip roof, or a hip and gable roof. Damn, girl, your roof got hips. Ooh. Oh. Okay. So gables and hips are incredibly mundane, boring things. It's just that Japan does them a cool way. All right. Okay. I got it. I got it now. That's fine. Greg has obtained some packing bubbles, some bubble wrap shit. Yeah, actually, I'm going to take that from her. I'll be right back. Hey. Get out of there. I'm running low on bubble wrap, so I can't just let her destroy it all. Also, I don't know if that's safe. I don't know if a cat can be trusted with bubble wrap. I feel like no. Probably not. Oh. Okay. So first we do Japan, Korea in like a temperate bamboo forest, governed by nature, wind, and water. Lovely. Then we would move on to an earth area, and honestly, that does just that really does feel like Ireland. Maybe somebody else could be the ice place. Are any of you naturally cold? It gets snowy in Ukraine. Guess they could be the ice place. All right, fine. Fine. And then we would be in region 2, corrosion, a creepy eldritch boggy place. Ooh. Okay, now that feels like a little bit Vietnamese to me. The like watery kind of flooded aspect of it. Not exactly the corrosion aspect. That seems... I don't think I'm going to find any culture to fit that. I think because, like, you'd have to, like, hate a culture to think that they belong with the corrosion element. Since corrosion is about, like, destruction and weakness and breaking down. I feel like you could take some easy jabs at like North Korea or Russia or something. On the topic of is Ndebele hot, you think it's important to point out that it's not a place but a people. Shit. Thank you, Crazy Pants. They had an architectural type, so I thought it was associated with like a region. They are any of the several Bantu-speaking African peoples who live primarily in the Limpopo and Mpumalanga provinces in South Africa. Okay. And Limpopo, South Africa has a subtropical steppe climate. Okay, so we're adjacent. Yeah, it's good. It's good enough for me. We can stick with them being the fire people. The colorful buildings I feel like would be cool in a like fiery volcano town. Agreed. All right, sweet. Bro, this fucking cat. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna go with Vietnam being the bog thing. I feel like a lot of imagery I have with Vietnam is like flooded regions, people on boats, cool little long boats. Sorry, you have to be the creepy eldritch place, Vietnam. I'm sure it's not the worst thing that's happened to you. Okay. So we still have a Persia-India fusion region. Ooh, that feels like deserty, but like also India's like very like lush. Okay, what are the locations we actually have to deal with? A jungle beach reef. Ooh, an electric jungle beach reef. Hmm. Like maybe Spanish / Mexico. Like Mexico's got a lot of beach places people go to. Touristy. Fine. Damn, that's not gonna fit there well. You know what? No, we'll just make you a little bit wider. Okay. And then region 11 and then 14. I believe, right? Oh, right. There's 9 total. Right. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So yep, that is fine. We have 9. And then, so 14 is going to be like the, like a major city. So is 7. All right. Okay. So 11 and 14. Wind, sound, and psychic. Savannah. Ooh. Honestly, that might fit better with the Ndebele people. Influences. All right. The big city, we're just going to go with Persia / India. And then France, Finland for this place. Okay, so now we have some cultural influences to draw from. Dang, I can't undo my deleting of everything off this list. I actually want that list to still exist. Fine, we're just gonna recreate it. Crap. So it's now. Oh, don't bold, buddy. I did tell you not to bold. Okay, and now you've done it. Okay, great, thank you. It just takes some time. Spanish / Mexico. Ukraine, Ndebele, France / Finland, and then Persia / India. Oh, gotta capitalize that I. Okay, great. So I could go through and decide on some like ancient influences. I think it's okay to kind of draw from those as I'm designing an individual level. I keep this list. Yeah, I guess it'd be nice to have this list to draw on for future things. Okay. Like expansions and stuff. All right. Hey. Fucking. This cat's pulling shit out of the closet. I don't even know who's in the closet. Apparently I had some of those little pillows that Amazon ships stuff with. Little air pillows. Now they're in the trash because Greg fucking poked holes in them. Okay. So yeah, I think that's good enough. And so then now I think the thing to do is going to kind of be to like kind of like leave all of this behind, but then like hyper focus on one area, especially since it's the like starting area, and then try and figure out the characters that I want to have there. Maybe the initial Your god. Maybe like the initial sources of conflict that the player is going to encounter as we slowly expand like the scope of the game, right? So like at first it's just like, what the fuck am I doing here? What's going on? And then you slowly get an understanding of how the world works. And then at first it's just like you're just enjoying yourself. But then as time goes on, people are like, no, you're here for like a reason. You'll find out what the reason is. Like there's scribes don't just show up for no reason. You've been brought here to fulfill your destiny or some dumb fucking thing like that. I don't know. Hopefully less cliche than that. So let's see. How do I want to do this? We want the conflicts to start small and then slowly grow from like you're here to gather information and unite people. You're here to just go around and collect info, talking to people, figuring out what's going on with these weird creatures. Greg. She's fucking around in the litter box. She just like leapt out of it like something bit her. Okay, we're cool. Okay, so at first the players thinks they're like just here to collect information about these strange creatures that are seemingly being influenced by both the magical storm that's like infusing the wildlife in the whole like nation with like weird magical powers. And then like therefore that's like making it dangerous for everybody. Like you used to have to worry about bears. Now you have to worry about like fire breathing thunder bears. I don't know. But then also there seems to be something else influencing them, like some kind of like weird sci-fi technology, like creatures made of metal, creatures with like weird radiation powers, shit like that. So at first the player thinks they're just there to document those things. But then it becomes evident that the reason those things are happening is because there's some kind of coming conflict, and the sentient species and the wildlife are being paired. They're being strengthened or trained for this coming conflict with external forces. So I got to figure out, how do I want to represent this, right? So I think maybe the thing to do, so I guess I should review, I had a bunch of like two lists of groups of characters in the game that I could maybe create individual characters from. Like, for example, like the teachers and students that come to the starting area where the player wakes up is a school that's being rebuilt. And so we could start creating individual teachers and students that are there. The students are going to be primarily the character's source of allies. So as the player explores... where's my fucking map? As the player explores other regions, you'll be able to recruit people, and the way that you recruit them will be like, hey, you have like sweet magic powers. You should come learn how to use those sweet magic powers in this academy that's being rebuilt that needs students. And the teachers there are like world renowned. So then of course people are like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll go do that. And the school itself is also like formerly a well-known place. It just got fucked up, and you know, maybe there's some haziness around the backstory of it. Like maybe some people think they caused the maelstrom. Like maybe they didn't, but they were researching it. So like they were close to it. They knew a lot about it. People maybe think they made it get worse. They didn't, but you know, but people talk. And then I have some other ideas for characters that are kind of going to like either ally with the player, so like blacksmiths and alchemists, they would be willing to join the school because they're like, okay, well, one, the school needs like a resident alchemist or two. A school needs an alchemist. You can't like not have. You got like people doing magic. They gotta study magic potions and shit. But then also maybe the alchemists realize like, oh, the player character is powerful and is going everywhere. So like if I need somebody to get me some fucking ingredients, like maybe it would be good if this guy feels like he owes me a favor because I make him potions and I sell him potions at a good rate. Also, I teach him how to make potions. So that kind of idea is going to be the driving force behind the player gathering like non-combat allies. Like a historian, somebody who's visiting this region to figure out truths about the past is going to be like, oh shit, dude, like you're going all kinds of places. Bring me fucking relics and stuff, man. Bring me like journals and other pieces of information. Same thing with like the archaeologists. They're kind of a historian and an archaeologist are quite similar, I suppose. One's interested in documents, the other's interested in like physical objects that might, in both cases, provide information about what happened in the past. The general idea is that this entire region has always had strange, powerful magic. Some gods lived here before. They are the gods who created the world. They're only really demigods, so they're kind of flawed. Very, very like, you know, like Zeus being a little philanderer, pissing off his wife by fucking a bunch of ladies, like those kinds of character flaws, you know. But mostly they wanted to protect and nurture the sentient species of this planet. But now they're gone. And some people think the gods have abandoned them. Some people think the gods died protecting them. Historians and the archaeologists, they're trying to figure that out. Trying to figure out what's going on. Shit. So yeah, that was a long aside. I have a good pool of characters, and those characters can start, like they can kind of start pushing along the conflicts, like them asking for information, butting heads with different characters. Another good example, scientists are here to study these magical crystals that occur in the region. This region is the source of all the magical crystals that used to be spread throughout the planet, but now the rest of the planet has kind of consumed them, much in the way that our societies on Earth are consuming oil. Now they are desperate for magic crystals. And so there are some scientists trying to figure out how to make synthetic ones, but then those scientists are, because they're from foreign countries, there are also soldiers that are coming with them, and some of the soldiers are like, well, like, fuck your science. We'll just take the magical crystals from this region. And like the scientists are like, bro, that's fucking dumb. Like that's short-sighted. Like don't piss these people off. Like if we all go to war, then there won't be any crystals. Like they're just gonna kill you. Like they're crazy magic warriors. Like don't fucking fuck with them. But then the soldiers are like, we're strong. We're smart. We'll just take what we want. So that I definitely want to be a source of conflict. But then the question is like, what order do I put those in, essentially? And so I had already started working on the campaign flowchart. We have the tutorial flowchart, which is just like very simple. It's like the player shows up and then they establish their home base is going to be this nice school that's being rebuilt by these people who bring in the player. They like mentor the player and teach them how to function in this world because they realize that the player is not from here. And they also realize the player is a scribe. A scribe is like an agent of fate or destiny, somebody who just appears, a traveler from another world who appears for some reason, generally to collect information and to make sure that some kind of event that needs to happen happens. So then they all kind of like view you as not like a known quantity, but you're worth supporting, I think is the idea. So they teach you how to collect resources, how to fight. They teach you about symbiotes, the crazy weird monsters that have been growing more powerful in the region, but who also are willing to like work with or bond with sentient races. And so then like all the villages and things will be like Pokemon, where it's like, oh, who does construction? Well, like humans do construction, but also like so do Machamps and Machokes, because they're big and strong and they like doing big strong stuff, so they do construction. How do you like cook your tacos? With a grill? You light the grill with a cute little Charmander. Like he can light the grill. Why even worry about having matches when you can just like call over your Charmander buddy and he can light the grill for you? Like that kind of shit. So they teach you about that general situation. You get taught the basics of combat, bonded with at this point 2 symbiotes. You'll start with 1. Everybody starts with 1, and then you'll choose one of 3, and then kind of be set out on your own, right? And so at that point, I got kind of stuck because I didn't have the regions designed yet. Now we have the regions designed. And the goal is going to be that unlike a normal Pokemon game, where your path is generally linear, and maybe at certain times, your path will be you'll have like 2 or 3 ways you could go, especially near the end of the game. As you get further in the game, you'll have multiple directions that you can go at any given time, but there's kind of always an expected way you're going. When you get 2 ways to go down to, oh my god, Fuchsia City, the place where Koga is, really it's like, are you going left or are you going right? And really the answer is I'm going to do both directions so I can farm and catch stuff. We would definitely rent out Pokemon in the US. Yeah, I feel like maybe a nicer version of that would be like if you lived in like if you worked at a strip mall that had a bunch of restaurants, like, and one guy has a Charmander. In the morning, you'd just be like, hey Fred, can you send Charmander down to like start up my fucking oven? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. If you need water, I'll have my Squirtle make you some filtered water, some fresh, pure, distilled quality water. I don't know. It's something like that, where like in every aspect of life where a magical creature that can produce elemental things could help, they do help. And so in many ways, technology is comparable to modern technology, but it's all done by these like creatures that just want to like they're much like dogs, where they just want to be told they're a good boy and fucking help out humans. Fresh Squirtle water. I know. Look, but scientifically, you're just being offensive right now because it's quite pure, okay? It's like comparable. Some Squirtles, if you ask them to, they can make like distilled water, like pure H2O. Nothing weird about it. Don't ask what hole it comes from. It's just perfectly pure, so it doesn't matter. You're wrong to question it. And maybe some Squirtles, their water is more like a natural spring water. It has a good taste to it. He just shoots it right out of his mouth into your cup, and it's perfectly sanitary. That is the vibe. It's like childish fun, you know? Enjoy the salmonella. Well, exactly. There isn't that, is the point. The whole reason that this society is fine with it is because that doesn't happen. It's magic water. It's summoned from another realm. It's not like sitting inside Squirtle's mouth and getting all gross. It just like magically teleports inside of, I guess it's shooting out of his mouth. He shoots it out of his mouth, but somehow like it's fine. There's no bacteria. And in fact, we'll have scientists who are studying this shit, who are like, how the fuck? Like, how is this working? And they'll be excited to share their weird news about Squirtle's kind of gross, seemingly gross, but actually totally fine mouth water with you. If you, the player, so desire to go speak with them, they will gladly share that information with you excitedly. So yeah, they're tightly interwoven into society everywhere. And I want to actually demonstrate that. It fucking kills my soul that like every town in Pokemon is just some buildings. In like all the old Pokemon games, it's just some buildings, and like maybe you see like a Jigglypuff standing around. But like fuck you. Show a building being constructed. Show like Machokes walking with girders and like setting them down to like build the building. I don't care if the building never actually gets built. I would prefer that maybe the building's under construction until I beat the gym leader, and then that building's done and they're building a building next to that building. Like, so you feel this sense of like growth and progress. And like, how hard would that have been? Like, I certainly by the time they were doing like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they could be making their world like this, where it's like fucking immersive, almost on the level of a simulation. But like at first when you see it, you're like, oh my God, they're like building buildings? Like, how far does this go? Are they gonna just keep expanding the town? If I sit here for like a month of in-game time, will they expand the town to like thousands of houses? Like, no, they won't. It's just a little bit of pretend, but just to make you feel like the world's real. I don't know. I fucking, they could have done so much with retro Pokemon games. And now my dumbass has to do it because they won't do it. God damn it. Okay, so I don't know if I want to think about the, I guess I'll walk myself through deciding what to do next. So after the tutorial in the first region, I want the player to kind of be able to just be on their own. They can pick up quests and be told what to do. Like, some people will be like, oh, hey, like the people over here are having a problem. You could go help them. There's a big town in this region up north. You could go challenge the gym leader there if you want. Maybe somebody else is like, oh, there's a dungeon in this region. You could go deal with the dungeon. There's probably some cool artifacts you could find. Or the player can just not fucking talk to anybody and not get any quests, and they can just go do that stuff. And they will be rewarded all the same just to go out and explore and solve puzzles in the region. They might stumble upon the dungeon. They don't need to be told. It's over on the like eastern bank. They might stumble into that. Maybe there's a lady who will give them a tool, like Metroidvania style. Like in Pokemon, there's the ability to like cut bushes. I want things like that to be available from multiple sources, so that then, one, I just want to I want to make life hard for speedrunners. If they ever play my game, I want there to be like hundreds of paths through the game. Like, oh, you could get cut here, and then you could get flash there. Or you could get cut one of like 6 places. Okay, maybe more realistic, 1 of 3. You could get flash in 1 of 3 places. You can get strength in 1 of 4 places. And then trying to optimize your path through the game becomes complicated. And really with the goal of just being varied, so that if you play the game again, you'll be able to go a completely different route, get completely different things. Get the same things, but in different places. The fact that people routed Breath of the Wild 100% astounds you. As in, they figured out the best way to do everything the fastest. Because the fun thing about that is when something changes, like somebody figures out a new skip or a new like exploit, it can completely change, which is very cool. Also, the use of like tools can definitely help. It's so much to optimize, yeah, for sure. Dude, that's like, humans just do that. Our stupid little goblin brains are like, I gotta make everything optimal. Speedrunning is a very fun example of optimizing something that like nobody really should be optimizing. But like, it's there. It's there. That mountain's there. You're gonna fucking climb it. I fucking get it. Okay, so while I want everything, I want the player to be able to pursue everything in any order. There's still going to be kind of limitations on what you can do and when. Like the Obviously, the tools you have at any given time determine the areas that you can access, which determines what you can do. But in addition to that, unless I have the enemy levels like scale, as in like region 1, the enemies might be level 10 if you come there early, but if you don't come to region 1 until later in the game, they might be 15 or 20 or even 30 as their like base level. Unless I make the level scale like that, the players will still kind of have like an intended trajectory. And I want to avoid that as much as possible. But I don't like the idea of level scaling because, especially in an RPG, it feels bad. It feels like you never become super powerful. I think it also feels bad, the idea of like capturing a Pikachu in the Viridian Forest at like level 10, but then knowing like, oh, I could just come back and he'll be like, I can catch another one at level 20. And so instead of raising that Pikachu I caught, I'll just come catch another one at a higher level. I don't like that. So I don't want to level scale things. So then I think what I need to do is there will be little sections of regions that are kind of like level appropriate, so that maybe when when the player feels like they're done with region 0 or they want to push into a new region, they could either push into a little part of region 2 or a little part of region 1. And maybe even a little tiny part of region 9. They might be able to step into region 9 and find some low-level creatures they could capture, but then they go a little bit further and like the weather gets crazy. They start seeing like higher level creatures that they're like, oh shit, okay, you know what? Yeah, no, I shouldn't be here. And maybe if they push all the way to the Adventurer's Outpost, the Adventurer's Outpost people are like, you shouldn't be here. How strong is your most powerful symbiote? Yeah, like level 10? No, don't you, you should go home. Go back to region 0, go back to the school, go somewhere else. So I still have to kind of limit where the players can go based on that if I don't want to scale the levels, which I don't. I do want gym challenges to scale. I like the idea that if you go to a dojo, which will be my equivalent of gyms, the gym leader, the dojo, the sensei, sure, we'll just go with sensei. The sensei at the dojo will assess your skill level and then will challenge you appropriately. So there's no way to over level a challenge. Unless, so one thing I had thought of doing is like, each gym has multiple level challenges, like let's say like a bronze challenge, a silver challenge, and a gold challenge. And if you go there, the sensei will assess your level and be like, okay, I think you should do the silver challenge. You seem like silver is most appropriate for you. But if you want, you could be like, nah, man, just hit me with bronze. Just hit me with the easy challenge. I'm in this for the story. I'm not in this for a serious challenge. So then you could defeat their lowest level challenge and get some kind of reward. Maybe a higher level challenge, you're going to get cooler rewards, so you'll feel inclined to do them. And to not force you to have to do low level challenges you don't want to do. If you beat silver challenge, but you haven't beaten bronze, you get all the rewards from bronze, along with the silver rewards when you complete silver. And maybe the bronze level challenges, the rewards are going to be the kinds of things you need to progress. So getting cut, or getting strength, maybe just the ability to use those things out of combat. Stuff like that will be what you get for the lowest level challenge. They will still be scaled to your level, but bronze will be like scaled a little bit under your level, silver at your level, gold a little bit above. And I may end up doing more tiers. Or potentially having another set of tiers of challenges that are not level scaled. So the idea is you come back at end game, and now the dojo leader, the sensei, is like, here's my actual team. I'm here, like, let's actually fucking fight. You need an actual challenge. Let's fucking go, dude. So I think that combination of things will give the player a lot of freedom in where they can go, but they will still be limited a little bit in the paths that they can take. And so then I guess what I want to do is start outlining those paths. So initially, I had this idea for the map where the solid lines are like known obvious connections, and not only that, but they're the expected connections, the connections I expect the player to know about and to take. So like the player's path through the game is like they're going to hit region 1, then they're going to hit region 2, then go back through region 1 to go to region 2. This is if they're very closely paying attention to the quests they get and the level of enemies, they'll feel like that's the natural direction they should go. And then they might poke into region 3, then go back to 2 to go up to 4, through always through either these thick lines or the fact that like these two literally just border each other. And then the dotted lines are like little secret connections that you might not notice. They might not even be visible, but somebody might tell you about them, or they're visible, but they're kind of hard to notice. Like secrets in Mario levels a lot of the time. Sometimes they're completely hidden, but sometimes you can kind of see, oh, right, that block looks a little off. Oh, right, actually, it's because there's a little pathway I can take behind that thing. So I need to add a lot more of those, but I think I want to add them as I do each region and kind of think about what is around them. Like there isn't ever going to be a secret path that goes from like region 0 all the way to region 8. That's like too far. That's too far. They don't border each other in any reasonable way. So there isn't going to be some secret way to just get all the way over there immediately. It'll always be things that are around region 0, which God, for region 0 is like region 1, region 13, region 12, region 9, region 2, region 4. So probably not all of those will have nice little ways in. Oh God, even like region 6, kind of, but not really. I think that's too far to worry about a connection like that. So yeah, I want to expand those. So actually, yeah, let me just like make a little text. It's gonna outline what I want to do. Whoop. I cannot fucking type. So what we're generally doing right now is like be like in-depth region outlining, which is a little bit of an oxymoron, like an in-depth outline. I don't know. Shit, this is right. That changes the font for the whole thing. Right. And I would like you justified left. Thank you. So we want to expand region connections, but before that, I want to be filling out this flow chart, and so I want to figure out like conflicts. So maybe like determine conflict order. I specifically want to like go through all of my different ideas for what is going to happen in the game, what the player is going to be dealing with, and kind of deciding what they should deal with first. So like jumping straight to fighting the military, that's probably a little bit much. Partway through the game though, maybe jumping to fighting the military is okay. Okay, so then these are the things that I want to work on right now. What else is going to be important in a region? I maybe want to add to that list before I start dealing with conflicts. So every region is going to have dungeons. Actually, shoot, yeah, you know what? I want to be looking at my map while I'm working on this. So let's just bring this guy all the way down here. Oh my God, I do have a list of other things to do. Shit. Okay. Right. Figuring out dungeon locations. Okay, so that is what I was about to talk about. So I think I'm going to still make this list, but that'll happen after we finish this list. Sorry. I'm going to make the list now. Then we're going to do this list. Then we're going to come do this list. So for any individual region, not only do we want to determine the order of like conflicts, figure out how things are going to scale. We want to figure out what areas are connected. We want to determine like the kinds of puzzles that are going to be in an area. Like specifically overworld puzzles. Maybe for the first section, maybe we say determine conflicts / quests. Maybe / goals. So, because I think what's going to be driving the player are ideas like Pokemon, like Team Rocket's shown up in town. They're you can't access the gym until you deal with Team Rocket, or you can't like a road is closed because there's some problem that's going on. Deal with that problem, and then you can get on your way. So those kinds of things will limit the player's ability to move through areas, and then it would also include like you need cut to go down this area, you need rock climb to climb up this area. To progress further. You don't have rock climb. Get fucking rock climb if you want to progress past that area. So all of those are important. And then while the player is going about trying to complete quests, deal with conflicts, achieve their goals of being able to access new areas, to see new zones, to see new cool symbiotes, to get further in the story, to become the hero. They will also be encountering, hopefully, at least a few little secret region connections. Some secret, some not. They'll also be just constantly encountering puzzles. I want the overworld puzzles to be kind of like Genshin Impact. They're just kind of all over the place, and they're localized. If you find a puzzle, the solution is somewhere around it. You're not gonna like get an item from region 2 to solve a puzzle in region 3, unless it's very obvious that you need a certain tool. Like there's something that's frozen and you can't interact with it at all unless you get something to melt it. So like mostly it will be painfully obvious when you need a different tool. Also, hello Dirk, welcome to stream. Eats your lore. Whoa. Let it. It's still raw, man. You got it. It's got a lot of baking to do. It is currently half baked, half-assed. Let's full bake and full ass it. Okay, and then so in addition to the puzzles, oh my god, I hate that you do that, Miro. This we're gonna do as part of that list I need to finish. We're gonna determine the dungeon in an area, and that will probably determine like we'll need to come up with like a god or a deity, and the kinds of puzzles that that god or deity would have. So like, I don't know, like a god of fire is gonna have puzzles based around fire. A god of balance or justice might have puzzles based around like balancing things. A god of life and death might have puzzles based around like growing a flower to make it bloom so you could walk across it, but then needing it to die at the right time so you can go past it. Things like that. Gray Firefox again. Oh my god. I have HDR on. Thank you, Durg. Oh my god. I can't detect it anymore.
You blew it.
I did. Oh my god. Get a brighter and more vibrant picture with HDR. Except, you know, not if other people don't have it. It's so weird that it can't just send the regular signal. Okay, there you go. Apologies. Fuck. I just want to play my cool video games with HDR, man. And also maybe have a few drinks. And then, you know, not remember that I have HDR on. Which is what happened last night. Okay, all right. So I'm good. Well, yeah, all right. Yeah. I'm annoyed with myself. Okay. So what the hell else? You thought the gray was on purpose because it's easier on the eyes. Oh. Well, that's a nice thought, Crazy Pants. It wasn't. It's because OBS can't figure out an HDR signal. And so just everything's gray. It's very weird. As someone who knows nothing about the science behind the technology, I don't think it should work that way. Shit. Okay, so what else is important in a region? We're gonna have to design the town. And maybe not just designing the town. I guess this should be early. This should potentially be before puzzles. We should like design the actual map, or maybe like outline the map and outline the town and city. Thinking about like what kind of region we're dealing with. Is it a rocky mountainous region? Is it a dense jungle? And then that will kind of determine not only the look of like pathways and things. Are they long and winding? Are there stone roads? But then also like that will determine what kind of areas there are for puzzles. So I'm just gonna like indent puzzles under the map outline. They'll definitely be important. No one thought I was incompetent because I'm not. Ooh, yeah, features is good. Not like that. I hit caps lock. And I haven't really thought about whether or not I want the like cities or towns to have puzzles. I don't think so. I think for the most part, puzzles are going to be things you deal with out in the world, and then in town, you might get quests. You might have people that would have a friendly battle with you, which you also might experience out in the world. But no puzzles where you're like stepping on stones in a certain order, or I don't know, lighting torches on fire in a specific order. Nothing like that. Except like to get into like a secret hideout. It might be nice to have some sort of puzzles in cities though. Yeah, I was thinking like maybe the way that Zelda has like little challenges and things you can do, like an archery course. You can like go pay a guy 10 rupees to try and shoot a bunch of targets and like earn a prize. So like maybe things like that, but then they would be like self-contained in a building and not really influenced by the design of the city. Ooh, festivals are a cool idea. I don't know, though. I don't know about time-limited stuff. We had talked about it before, and I love the idea of making the game feel like it is, feel like it's alive by tracking the date and, like, for example, having, like, a harvest festival in a town in the fall or something. And so then, like, the player is just playing the game, and they, like, randomly come to town and, like, holy shit, stuff's different. Like, why is it different? Oh, it's, like, fall. They're setting up a harvest festival. God, stuff like that seems so cool, but, like so much extra work. I do want to do it, though. So for festivals, we could have, like, outdoor puzzles. But I honestly feel like a festival would occur... and actually, you know what? I already have it noted that I want to do that somewhere else, and it's that would be something we do later on, as like a crowning, a little extra touch at the end. I feel like a festival would occur, like maybe outside of town. I guess a big enough town it could just be in the town square, but I feel like if you wanted to have, like, silly things like a jousting tournament or like an axe throwing competition, a fishing competition, all that stuff would have to happen like on the outskirts of the town. And maybe that's okay. Like, there are areas where there are gonna be puzzles just outside of town, but not everywhere. Not every spot is going to have a puzzle. So then I would have to kind of figure out if I do want to have festivals. Like this, right next to this puzzle outside of town, there's a little fishing hole. So okay, we can have the fishing competition there. Shit like that. And so actually I think I want to determine the dungeon first. And maybe... Yeah, okay, actually, yeah, because we're going to do that quite early on. So I think determining the dungeon will be the first part of this. And so then that way we'll kind of have this idea of, like, this region was this certain god's favorite. And so they were not only worshipped at this temple, I guess. Temples, and then shrines as well. Shrines are going to be like Breath of the Wild shrines, little small, quick little 5-10 minute dungeon or temple, whereas a temple is a 30-minute dungeon, maybe longer if you're bad. Oh my god, someone would need to clean those plenty vermin. Do you mean pesky vermin? I guess plenty, like there's a lot of vermin. Sure, someone would need to clean up the vermin in the festival spot. Quest, kill all the Rattata in the festival spot. That is a really fun idea. I would definitely have, before the festival starts, you can see all of the, like, materials that are being set out for it. That would be very funny if, like, the week before they started setting up, you could get, like, a time limited quest for some sweet rewards to go wreck all the creatures, or at least scare them away or something. Although that feels kind of mean. Maybe we make it sound like we're like they have a place to go, but they're just encroaching on our territory. So go scare them away. Lure them away is fun. Yeah. Like, get them out of the area so we can fence it off and start building stuff up. Those damn Rattatas. I feel like it'd be fun to have it be like a giant creature that's not hostile. So just some, like, giant sweet bear is just like him and his whole family, just like a dozen of them, just lounging on the beach where they want to have a festival, but, like, they can't get him to leave. And the bears don't find anything threatening, so they're just like, whatever. You can't make me leave. What are you gonna do? Kill me? No. Fuck off. I'm sleeping. We're sleeping in this wonderfully comfortable sand. Nothing you can do about it. That would be fun. Luring them away is fun. I'm gonna add that real quick to the cool ideas page of my wiki. All right. It's fun. The bear just lays down and kids use them as slides. Okay, that's kind of cute. I don't know if they're that docile, right? They might not like that. Maybe they're like elephant seals, like they're just kind of gross to be around. They just make like gross noises. Also, they might just roll over and crush you, you know. Still danger, just not like hostile. They're very passive, so nobody wants to kill them. Oh, they could have a Snorlax level of chill. Yeah, that's actually a very cute idea. That sounds very fun to have a festival that's just constructed around the Snorlaxes. Because, like, whatever. Ooh, a mini game could be like tossing food for a Snorlax to eat. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's think about this. What else is going on in a region? Like, there's going to be a dungeon. There's always conflicts that are escalating. You need to design the town. You need to design the map features. And, okay, honestly, the map features are gonna have to come before the town because the shape and design of the town would, of course, be influenced by the type of environment. So let's do that. We have extra space? Why are you indented more? Is there an extra space somewhere? No. What a weird... I want you both to be indented equally. I'm losing my mind. Okay. So then after we do all of that, the last thing we do will be like expanding the region connections. Ooh. Okay. We need to determine flora and fauna. Oh my god, a stacking Snorlax tower. Oh my god. That's bordering on a little bit cruel. Fake balloon / pillow Snorlaxes. That sounds very cute. I so badly want like a high quality... Hold on, does it exist? Is there a Snorlax beanbag? The idea of being able to just like jump onto a Snorlax and chill out. Okay, yeah. That's fucking cool. This is the only one that actually looks right. This just looks like a bed. Yeah, it is. It is just a bed. Okay, yeah, I don't want a bed. I want it to be a fucking beanbag chair. It's weird. The posing with the Snorlax is weird. Like he's a person. Yeah, I fucking love this idea. And like it's just a beanbag chair with some extra effort attached to it. It's not like a logistical nightmare. Oh my god, fuck, I want this. All right. Okay. Shit. So, okay, actually, I want to break this up differently. Fauna are the creatures. Actually, let's go with symbiotes. And then we're also going to need to determine like the materials that are here. So like ore, plants, maybe even like wood. There might be able to like cut down a tree or something. I'm not sure on that. For sure, ore and plants. You'll for sure be able to mine and for sure be able to harvest plants. Wood, it might just be like you can pick up wood from trees that have naturally fallen over. But I don't know. If I decide the player needs wood, maybe I'll have them actually harvest it. But that sounds like then I'd be going down the road of a game like Minecraft or something where you're just like harvesting materials for basic crafting, and that's not really what I want. I want you to be getting materials like you're gonna get ore to make a sweet sword. Every time you see a little bit of ore, you're gonna be like, fuck yeah, ore. Plants, not as meaningful as ore, but still meaningful, like more common, but still useful. You're going to use them to make potions and shit. So yeah, maybe for now, just ore and plants. And so we need to know what kind of ore, what kind of plants are going to spawn for the player. What the fuck else? Ooh, maybe even like bugs. They might be useful for like crafting or for using to do something. I don't know. And they would be different than symbiotes. Symbiotes are specifically going to be creatures that you're going to battle with. I have kind of thought about the fact that I don't really want there to be that many creatures that are not symbiotes. Because the general idea that I've conceived of is that like nature is being infused with magic and it needs to make creatures more powerful so that they will survive. And that feels kind of mean to just be like, sorry bugs, you get left behind. Like some bugs got huge and they can shoot like laser beams or freeze people, but not you. You just have to stay small because the player character needs to capture you and put you in a bottle to like make a little lantern because you're a little firefly or something. All right. Yeah, we're gonna shy away from that for now then. So then just ore and plants. God, what the fuck else? This might be everything. This might be all the things. It's like you're the player. You're gonna run around. You're gonna find puzzles. You're gonna stumble upon enemies. You're gonna find items that you loot. Oh, treasure chests. Okay, so when we're designing the game, we will be placing treasure chests. I think that will come when I'm actually designing the map. So maybe we could take note of that. We might want to note what treasures we want appearing in the area or something. But right now, without the actual map, I think it's silly to be like, we're going to have 10 treasure chests. Each one has these items. Just a reminder, swarms still exist. Yeah, that is a cool idea. I think just like before when we talked about that, I'm like, oh God, that seems complicated to manage. Like, instead of having a giant bug that can fight against a dragon, we have a swarm of medium-sized bugs that can fight against a dragon. The logistics of that, animating it, figuring out what unique attributes they would have. Also, how does them getting attacked work? Like, well, if they lose half their health, has half the swarm disappeared? And then if they get healed, like the swarm reappears? I don't know. Yeah, I guess as a swarm, I kind of think of as still visibly separate, but the idea of them being represented as one symbiont is interesting. Swarms don't heal, no. So that would be like, in that case, you would only really be able to like encounter them and fight them as a challenge, but not actually capture them and use them. But yeah, the second thing you mentioned is not really what I was thinking of when I thought about swarms, but that is a cool idea. the hunters from Halo. I think they're just called hunters. Yeah, these weird guys. Damn, I used to know their like native name. Oh, maybe it is Magalek Golo. The Golo part sounds right. They're just like a bunch of worms. They're a bunch of worms that work together to be a giant creature. So like that might work. You could reproduce them outside of combat. Oh my god. Okay, so I like the idea of swarms for a challenge, but not for the player being able to capture them. I don't know if that works well. But the idea of a swarm like the second thing that you said, like a group acting as one, I feel like in that case you could still allow it to heal. Let me add that to a different section. I have a specific section for symbiote ideas. Okay. A group that acts as one. Halo hunters. Can't spell. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Okay, so what the fuck else? What the fuck? You're playing Pokemon. You start off, you leave the first town, you head north. Oh, people! We need people! So we might want to note like the kinds of trainers. And I guess they're specifically called adepts. We might want to note the kinds of adepts that'll be there. Again, just like treasures, you can't really place them until you actually start designing the map. And this is just going to be an outline. Although I guess we could actually like break out paint and maybe like start shaping it. But I guess that's like the next step. Okay, so you're back to playing Pokemon. You head north. You're going toward Viridian City. There's a guy that offers you a potion. You could have, I guess we could have adepts / NPCs. We could just have like quest or item givers. That type. There we go. And so that's really it. And then what? Oh, Derek said something. Oh, D&D swarm mechanic explanation. The swarm can occupy another creature's space and vice versa. And the swarm can move through any opening large enough for a tiny raven. Whoa. Is this a raven swarm then? The swarm can't regain hit points or gain temporary hit points. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a cool idea. Oh, and it's from 5e, all right. That doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. I don't know anything about the specific differences in D&D. The closest I've gotten to playing D&D is Baldur's Gate 3, and I have no idea how close that actually is to any given system. So, fuck. Okay. Back to my visualization. What happens at the beginning of Pokemon? Actually, can I just get like a... Whoops. Didn't mean to close that. Yeah, let's go back to this map of Fire Red. No, I just want the map though. Okay. Oh my god, I don't want to explore other things. Just give me the actual image. I hate that Imgur now, if you scroll down, they're just like, look at other stupid shit. Look at this kid. Look at this dumb fucking kid. Don't you like that? Don't you want to just consume stuff? Like, no, I literally only ever come to Imgur if I'm looking for a specific image. You could show me other related images. Like if you thought like, hey, this kid's looking at Pokemon maps. I guess I say kid because I guess I assume they would think I'm a child. Let's show them some other Pokemon maps or something. I don't know. Okay, so what other shit is there to think about? Potentially like little secret sections. I think I want to put those in later. So maybe we'll say note treasures or secrets. I think I just want to remind myself those are going to need to be a thing when we actually design the map. The reason I brought that up is right here. There's a little spot. How far in can I zoom? Oh my god, scrolling is terrible. This little spot right here has a guy who I think gives you the ability Dream Eater, but you can't get to him at the beginning of the game because there's a bush there to cut and also a thing to surf. So then the goal is like you remember that and you come back when you have one of those things. Balloon? What? Did I say something that sounded vaguely like that? I probably did. Nope, that's water from yesterday. That has no ice. There we go. There's the right water. Okay. And so then you can go left. You can encounter your rival. Ooh. Do I like that? Do I want there to be like time limited? Yes, definitely. Okay. So that is something that I might want to outline early. Time limited NPC events. We'll say like rival battle is one of them. But I think I want to go further with this, like helping people. Maybe time limited events. And then, fuck, because also Hollow Knight. The way that you can further characters' quests if you help them in certain places, but you may miss the opportunity. I really like. I want that to be a big part of being able to recruit certain characters, maybe temporarily, or permanently. Is you've got to help them out. Some characters no. Some characters are just going to be like, oh, you're like strong and like you saved this one town. That's cool, man. I want to learn to be a fucking person who can protect my town. Oh, I should go study at this school and also maybe help you with your conflict. Sure. All right. But then some people are like, no, I got my own shit to do. And then you help them do their shit. And then they're like, okay, you're super nice, man. All right. I'll fucking, you're right. I should help you save our nation. Fine. Okay, so then you can go north, and then you go through a dungeon. So I guess that's what I specifically want to describe. That was the terminology I had used before. A dungeon, or I guess, maybe there's a better term for it. I was thinking of using dungeon as a general catch-all term for shrines, for temples, which are both like shrines and temples from Zelda. Shrines are short, they're self-contained. A dungeon, self-contained. It's not short. Ends with a boss. But then you have something like Viridian Forest, where like... Actually, even Viridian Forest isn't a great example. I think the example I actually would want that's incredibly different is... Incredibly different. It's different in one way. Is Mount Moon. When you go through Mount Moon... No longer is it the case that you must walk through grass to encounter an enemy. In Mount Moon, it's like, okay, just anywhere, anything is a dungeon. Well, not anything, but yeah, the dungeon is like the catch-all term for environments that are not like in a city or in the like overworld. So if you're in a city, there's no kinds of dungeons in a city. Okay, actually, nope. I take that back. Enemy bases. Everything is a dungeon. Okay, not everything though. Not everything. The overworld is not a dungeon. The overworld's not a dungeon. Going inside of like a building in general is not a dungeon. Everything's a dungeon, believe you. All right, okay. Fine. I think giving everything the care and attention that I want to give to my dungeons is a thing. Okay, so part of expanding the region connections is going to be like caves that connect things, or like I'll say like forest paths, like Viridian Forest. Let me go through that map and see if there's anything else. Like what other shit do you do in Pokemon? You go up the little bridge, that's fun. You go and talk to Bill, you come back down. Yeah, I think at that point you've kind of encountered all of the unique like environments types that Pokemon has. By the time you go through Mount Moon, there's nothing else really like new and unique. Interesting. Where do you come out from Rock Tunnel? Like way... oh, right here. Interesting. So spatially, Rock Tunnel, you enter up here, and then you exit this exactly south, just a little bit. Ooh, sewers is an interesting idea. I think for like an enemy HQ or an enemy base, like Team Rocket is set up in a city doing illegal shit, going through some sewers would be a cool idea for sure. Shortcuts is an interesting idea. I feel like I want the player to be able to, one, they'll be able to like teleport or fly eventually. But definitely one thing that I've already thought about, Pokemon does this. Little spots with bushes that you can cut. So at first you've got to go around and deal with shit, but then eventually you can just cut a bush and now you have a shortcut. So yeah, I guess, let's see, how do I feel like that's going to be a later thing as well. Shortcuts seem like something that kind of needs to come later. And I'm going to note that about the treasures and secrets too. And then probably the adepts. And yeah, actually this whole section is like, I need to actually design the map before I can really add these. And really, shortcuts is like, I've got to design the whole map. This is like you come back way later to do that. Yeah, so after you come out of the rock tunnel, you're just traveling through routes like you always have. You have to skip past, Saffron City? Is that the middle of the city where Sabrina is? And then you deal with your first, like, Rocket HQ, a Rocket base, which is kind of unique. But I think at that point, you've kind of exhausted all of the unique places. Oh, the Safari Zone. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to note that in the cool ideas thing. I don't know if I want a Safari Zone. Sabrina the Young Witch. Oh my god, wait. I haven't thought about that is her name, right? She's the psychic lady? Yeah, and then that's also the name of the teenage witch from the show. That's funny. Salem's your favorite. Salem was very fun. That was like 90% of the reason I would ever watch that show as a kid. Salem was entertaining, for sure. Okay, so... So what the hell else? I also want this game to take inspiration from like Dark Souls and Baldur's Gate. So Dark Souls, I guess, is leading me to think about rethinking shortcuts. So we want to think about having shortcuts within an area, but also shortcuts that lead you to new, I guess really to old areas. It's not a shortcut unless you're going back to an old area, somewhere you've previously been but through a long way, and now you can go back a short way. Oh, hey, M6. This looks fun. It's, you know, I would say much like Lottlenot. It's like chill fun. Just barely technically fun. Whoa, Dirk, Baldur's gay. Don't be like that. I mean, honestly, I guess it's fine. It's not really derogatory, but you know, just fucking watch it. Okay, so is there anything else fun about exploring in Dark Souls? I guess ambushes are an interesting thing to think about. And I want this game to feel like the world is alive and functioning. So a creature trying to hunt you that ambushes you would be fun. You don't have much of a clue of what the hoopla's going on, but glad it's wholesome and you're watching it. Oh, well, that's nice. So I'm making a beast collection game like Pokemon, but with like tactical combat. And taking inspiration from like Baldur's Gate 3, Dark Souls, obviously Pokemon. So I want the world, I want like environmental storytelling. I want the world to feel alive. The biggest reason I'm doing this is, one, I want Pokemon with tactical combat, where like positioning matters, attacking from behind is beneficial, knocking an enemy back into a group of enemies to then hit them all with an AoE attack, like that kind of thing I have desperately wanted from Pokemon for a long time. But then also I want a Pokemon world that feels alive. Sounds like a huge but fun project. Yeah, I'm a bit afraid of how big it is. It's brutal, but I am like, I think about this shit all the time. So like I need to spend some of that time thinking about it in a constructive way. And if that means like trying to make it, then I guess that's what I'm fucking doing. Micro anxiousness. Oh my God. That is my life, man. So anyway, the other big thing that I want that Pokemon refuses to do is I want an immersive world with symbiotic creatures. Like the Pokemon cartoon show loves to like sometimes show Pokemon interacting with humans like doing jobs. There's a cool episode of, oh my God, what the fuck show is it? Pokemon Origins or something? Where like the SWAT team attacks Giovanni's gym to like try and find him, but like he's already gone. But like the SWAT team has like Arcanines and like other Pokemon as part of the SWAT team. They like melt a wall down with Arcanines like fire breath. Like I want to see that shit in the world. I don't want to just go to a fucking Pokemon village and there's like 4 buildings and some people walking around. Like I want to see life happening. I want to see like Machamps and Machokes helping construct a building. I want to see like restaurants where like a Charmander lights things on fire, and I don't know, maybe also cooks with the chef. I don't know. I just want to see the symbiotic creatures ingrained into the world in a realistic way, and not even like visually realistic. I just want pixel art. Nobody asked for 3D Pokemon art. Well, at least I didn't. Imagine a swarm being on fire and stepping on a Rattata's position, so when the fire ticks, both get damage. Okay. Now that is a cool idea. I do think if we do have swarms, there'll be enemies you fight, and then maybe you can capture one creature from that swarm. I don't know. Like, I guess it would make sense that they can occupy the same space. But I feel like it depends on what the swarm is, right? Like, if it was a swarm of bees, that could easily occupy the same physical space as a Rattata. But if it was like a swarm of, I don't know, like some kind of smaller creature that moves on land, I feel like it wouldn't really make sense for them to occupy the same exact space as Rattata, you know? It's just funny mechanics. Oh yeah, for sure. I do like the idea of a swarm being lit on fire and then them traveling all around and lighting stuff on fire. Like that's definitely what we're going for. Like maybe you as the player, unless you have fire resistance armor on, you probably don't want to light a swarm on fire. Especially not like a swarm of bees or like locusts or something that's highly mobile because you're about to be surrounded by fire. Unless you're prepared to put the fire out, like a rain spell or like I said, you've got fire resist armor on and you're ready to like use a wind spell to spread the fire in even more places. So it could be, you know, the goal is much like, actually not really so much with Baldur's Gate, but the previous game that Larian made, Divinity, I feel like you could do things like that a lot more. There was a lot of interaction with like turning surfaces, turning the ground into ice, and then making enemies chase you and then them slipping on the ice. I guess you could do that kind of stuff in Baldur's Gate as well. You could cover the ground in grease and make people slip on it. Arsonist builds, well, okay, I don't know if I would call it that. You're not, like, arson is when you burn someone's house down, not when you, like, I don't know, burn a small section of a wild forest that nobody has a house near. I don't know. Pyromaniac. Okay, well, like, maybe, yeah, sure. You're, like, obsessed with fire? Yeah, sure. You'll definitely be able to make a build around burning things on fire. But then, like, you might be screwed if you're in a place where you can't burn things on fire. You miss your Poison Prince? Yeah, Prince was fucking sweet. And yeah, Small Brain, Crazy Pants and I, with another friend, played through all of Divinity 2, and now we're trying to play through Baldur's Gate 3, but you know, it's fucking hard. Our third is a, like, I would describe as social butterfly. He's just always fucking got shit going on. Like, can't do it tomorrow, I got kickball. Can't do it tomorrow, I got a potluck. Can't do it tomorrow, I'm going out with, like, an old roommate. Fucking, I can do it Sunday. Oh, wait, no, I have to go have dinner with my parents. It's so fucking brutal. Schedules, yeah, but, like, I don't do anything. Like, Crazy Pants and I just hang out at night and play video games. So then it's like, yeah, I could do a Destiny raid any night of the week. I could play Baldur's Gate any night of the week. Rare exception when I can't. Schedules killed your D&D. Yeah, it's fucking brutal, man. It's great when, like, you're in college and, like, the latest class is, like, 8 p.m. or something. Maybe 9. And they're, like, 2 or 3 days a week. At most. No, I guess some classes are 5 days a week. A lot of my engineering courses were lab work that was 2 days a week. So it was big chunks of time, but not every day, which made it relatively easy to schedule things. And you always had the weekend. But now, like, the weekend is, like, chore stuff. The weekend is when Crazy Pants and I have to, like, I don't know, switch the bedding, clean the floors, vacuum, swap out cat. But actually, no, we swap out the litter boxes in the middle of the week. Yeah, I don't know. Grocery shopping, meal prepping. The weekend is, like, at least 50% productivity time, so I don't know. It fucking sucks. And also, I'm tired. I'm just tired all the time. I feel like I used to be able to just plow through shit. Like, oh, the dishes have to be done? Let me just, like, speed do the dishes in an hour. Now it's like, oh my god, I'm just so slow and tired, and it takes 2 hours. Fuck. Anyway, what other cool shit does Dark Souls do? I feel like it's mostly just shortcuts and ambushes. Like, the other things, like having like items hidden around, we've already kind of noted that. Having NPCs with, like, limited time interactions, that's already noted. It's weird to try to, like, mentally remember playing Dark Souls or Elden Ring in your head. But I have a mustache hair that's just constantly poking me in the nose. This man is not tired enough, so he develops a game. Yeah, that is, like, this, like, mental fatigue. Constantly thinking about making a game and never actually doing it, like, wears on you in a different way, you know? God, what the fuck else is cool about Dark Souls? Elden Ring. I don't know. I feel like basically everything else that's cool, we've already noted. And then for Baldur's Gate, I feel like it's a similar situation. I think the only thing that I haven't noted that I want to outline potentially are like multiple paths through quests. might be something that I can achieve in an outline first. For sure. Okay, so I think these are going to be the things that I work on per region. So we already have a map of all the regions. We have all the regions along with some cultural influences for the regions that have towns. We have the elements that are going to govern them. So then it's going to be like, now that I've done all this, we're just going to hyper focus on the first region, the like starting region. Ooh, environmental storytelling. That's a good point. That's a good thing that's worth actually noting. I don't think I'm going to forget that. Like, every item is going to need to have some cool lore associated with it. Puzzles or ruins, things that the player encounters will be set up in a way to kind of tell a story potentially about something that happened there. Hunt scarabs, search deers, look for flowers, smash mausoleums. Whoa. I guess those are all things you do in Elden Ring. That is true. I don't think we need smash mausoleums as a specific thing. Environmental storytelling, though. Definitely a good reminder. Okay, so then this was left over from before that I didn't go through. So we figured out biomes and also the cultures for biomes that have cities or villages. We figured out the prevailing elements. So now I need to figure out where dungeons are actually going to be. Aeonia got that cool bridge mechanic. Oh, that's an interesting point. So maybe as part of outlining map features, maybe just like large mechanical structures. And I guess that might be part of like ruins. The idea is we want to have like okay, the lower section of the map is like fucked up and has been recently abandoned. But then also the entire nation has like ruins, areas that are like dangerous and not explored that might have those strange mechanical structures. So yeah, I think those should be noted as separate things, because we might have large mechanical structures that are just like left over from a recent society, or ones that are left over from the ruins of an ancient society, and that is definitely something that can add character to an area, like strange machines you use to get around in weird ways. Unique logistics, mechanics / challenges. Yeah. And I think that those can go directly in with puzzles. Functional ancient machines. Yeah, it's always a little bit silly that, like, I don't know, like Indiana Jones, other things like that with like ancient temples with doors that automatically open. Like, you mean to tell me this society from like thousands of years ago made doors that could just like slide open and nobody has maintained it for like thousands of years, but they still work? But yes. And in my world, it's because there's fucking magic. Because you can make shit with fucking magic, and then it'll just work for 1,000 years. And you know, maybe that's not the standard. Maybe the rest of the world. Fuck, what did I name the world? I think the name of the world is Nair. Yeah, the world is named Nair. Maybe in the other nations of Nair, you know, like capitalism's getting a little bit shitty. People are making cheap products, but like the ancient temples were made because like they revered their gods. They're not gonna make a shitty door that breaks after 1,000 years for their god if they can help it. Fuck that. That would be rude. That would be embarrassing. It would be sad. They wouldn't do that. Dirk, what is Blue Zelda stuff? I was with you until that. Unless it's the god of decay. Well, now I don't know about a door just not functioning. It would the decay part would be more poignant, more like stated. Like the example I gave before where like to navigate a dungeon, maybe you need to cross a bridge, but the bridge is a bunch of giant flowers that you grow. And then later you need to go, like, you're on the first floor and you need to go through those giant flower roots. So then you have to do something else to make them die. Like something like that. That's very like illustrative of like growth and decay. Not just like, oh, we tried to open the door, but it broke partway through. I guess we have to go around. Although, like, okay, that could be a thing. That could be a thing that happens. That is a fun idea. I do like that feeling when you're going through a dungeon and it feels like you're navigating through like broken pieces of the dungeon to make progress. But if it was for a god, and specifically the god of decay, it would be, you know, it would be very, like I said, like artistic and poignant. Roll a dexterity save for a falling stone door. Oh my god. Yeah, that's a fun idea. I wonder, would players be mad about that? I like a stone door breaks and is gonna fall on you. And then like if you don't roll well enough, you take some damage. I feel like players might get annoyed about that. In Baldur's Gate 3, there are like treasure chests buried in the ground, and you can only find them if you pass a survival check, I think is the skill. And it's even that is kind of annoying. You'll be like walking down a path and it makes a noise and then you look in the corner and it's like, oh yeah, you failed a survival check. And you're like, well fuck, now I know there's something here. You told me there's something here. If I failed the check, just like maybe don't tell me. I don't know. Ugh. And so then like if I fail a check, then I'm like, okay, I call over like Crazy Pants and Booski. And I'm like, hey, you both fucking, there's a treasure chest over here. Come fucking find it. And hopefully one of us passes it. Oh, fuck. So I don't know about dexterity or about saving throw checks. I think they're kind of fun. So I might put them in. And then just like narrate that the door falls on top of you because like I'm a one-man army here. I can't be making cool animations for everything. But a narrator who's like, oh shit, like you slip and the door crushes your foot, you take 5 damage. Too bad. You know, that I can do. Okay, so anyway, I kind of want to figure out the dungeon locations, and I haven't really decided. I want to spread them out like element wise. And specifically, actually, I guess, no, it's not dungeons. It's temples. Because my plan is when I go to design any given region, I want to fill it with little shrines, little tiny puzzles that are self-contained. Also with small little overworld puzzles that are very simple, self-contained. But then we're going to have areas that are connected by dungeons. By like a mountain pass that you go through, or like an underground set of tunnels you go through. And those I think I will design as I move from region to region. I'll kind of decide what fits. I do kind of need a philosophy about like how many is too many. Like shit, I guess I'm going back to the Fire Red map. Hold on, can I just like reopen it? And there it is. Okay. So, like, obviously, most of the transitions between towns are just like simple, oh, this is a bike. This is the bike path. But for the most part, it's just like a simple route connects town to town or region to region. And I think for the most part, that's fine. And then what Pokemon Fire Red has, it has Mount Moon. No, I meant to scroll over here. Let's go. So you got Mount Moon. Is how you get from Pewter to Cerulean. You can have a cool mini CYOA type of stories. Cover your own ass? Cover the... What? You don't know. I don't know. I don't know either. Okay, so Mount Moon, Rock Tunnel. And then I think that's it as far as like dungeons that get you somewhere. Oh, choose your own adventure. Yeah, I think that is kind of my goal with things. With the quest system, I definitely want there to be narrations that kind of lead you toward choosing one or two things to do. And then that potentially impacting your experience. I don't know. Heard a noise. I don't know where Greg is. I don't know if I want to have the dungeons set up that way. Because my goal with the dungeons is they're like a very curated experience, much like temple. A Zelda temple is a very curated experience. It's kind of a direct, you go from this puzzle to that puzzle, then maybe one of these two puzzles. But for quests, I definitely want to choose your own adventure kind of feel. And for progressing through the game as a whole. Not the whole dungeon, but eventual activities. Huh. Yeah, I can't really conceptualize how you do a choose your own adventure thing with that. Ooh, although I guess a dungeon... God, I need a good term. I guess I'll call it a cave. The idea, like a... No, because a cave could just have one entrance. I need a term for the dungeons you travel through. Like a travel dungeon? A dungeon route. I don't know. It would be kind of cool, like, let's backtrack. Imagine you're going through the rock tunnel. It would be kind of cool to be presented with different ways to go. And then you might be given information. A corridor, a tube, an intestine. Okay, all right. Shit. Corridor is the least weird of those. Shit. Okay, maybe that's what we'll do. I don't know. Fuck. Okay, back to what I was saying. The idea of going through the rock tunnel, but maybe being presented multiple ways that you could go through it. Like, you can go through this lower route that goes by like lava areas, and it's dangerous. So don't go that way unless you're fast or dexterous or you have lots of healing. But maybe it's quick, or maybe you'll see creatures you wouldn't see through the other route, and maybe the other route is longer, and maybe you could even be accompanied by some like explorers who are like, hey, that's the route we're taking. And maybe there would be some advantage to taking the fast route, like there's a quest you could do to deliver something quickly, and you can only achieve that if you go through the quick route, the dangerous route. So I'm gonna add that idea. Like multiple ways through caves, dangerous and quick versus safe and long. All right. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. I think that is something that we could potentially do. Okay, so back to looking through the map. I don't think there are any other like tunnels that you go through as part of like progressing through the game. Like you can go through Diglett's cave, but it doesn't actually, it's not a requirement. You don't have to do it to get through the game. As far as I know, there's no way to avoid Mount Moon and the rock tunnel. Maybe there's some weird glitch shit that you can do to avoid them. But nothing else is really like that. You have the water routes where you run into enemies and like you run into enemies like you do inside of a dungeon, but you can always like fly to get out. So that is like a weird in between. It's kind of like halfway between just a regular route that you would walk through and a dungeon. A cave, I guess. God, terminology. It's fucking killing me. The bike path is unique. Okay, so I think I should note, like I want to focus on unique inter-region corridors. We're gonna call them corridors. A cave? Like, oh wait, oh my god. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Okay, and again, this does seem like something that's kind of getting ahead of myself, because this is how you deal with going between regions. And like, I'm still gonna be hyper focusing on just designing the first region. Right, and then there's the little, oh my god, these islands. What the fuck are you called? Seafoam? Seafoam islands? That there is, you could go in one entrance and come out the other, but like you don't really have to. Unless you insist on coming this way to get to Cinnabar Island. Oh my god, the Pokemon map looks so like quaint and tiny. Also, it's so funny how much of it you just don't explore and how much of it is just never talked about. Like what is in these regions? I wish they kind of explained it. Dang. A geyser path between islands. Just sit on a geyser and wait to be shot in the sky. Oh my god. Okay, now, so that kind of reminds me. So Sea of Stars, great game in a lot of ways. It's got some flaws. The first art I ever saw for it, a guy posted on our pixel art, and it was like, this is our fast travel system for our game. I'm gonna show it to you. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. So this guy, just a giant dude. Nah, replay that. A giant dude just puts you in a little rock and he just yeets you. And then you get caught by another giant somewhere. Why does that sound like a Sid the Sloth kind of activity from the Ice Age series? Because it absolutely would be. Or, oh my god, or Scrat. That seems like something that could happen to Scrat. So anyway, a fast travel system like that seems really fun. Anywhere that you could, like, infuse personality into the game. Although, sure, like, that's gonna cost me lots of time. Like probably that, if I were to try and make a fast travel animation that looked 1/10 as good as that, like, that's like a month of work for me. At least. It's probably like 2 or 3 months. Fuck. Okay, so going back through the map, it seems like caves are the only thing that Pokemon has that's really like traveling, going forward, but through a dungeon. Put a nut in it, it's 100% Scrat. But that nut free, it's a Sid thing? Yeah, sure. Oh shit. I've only seen like the first 2 Ice Ages, but I think there's like 3 or 4 now. Will you be able to have a house? So I wasn't thinking of like an actual full-on. Okay, like yes, but it might just be like a room in a. The idea is that in the starting region, there are some people rebuilding it like a school, like an academy for magical warriors, people who fight with, and they use magic but also bond with the beasts in the game to further their abilities. And so like through the course of them rebuilding the school, you help them, and so they give you a place to stay. And so this kind of becomes your base of operations. I haven't really thought through whether it should be like a house or just a room in like a dormitory, I guess, or like professor housing. Like since everybody lives at the school, like Hogwarts, like there's got to be somewhere that you have like personal belongings where you store your gear, shit like that. Holy shit, there's 5 main Ice Age movies? Oh my god, yeah, I'm way behind. I feel like with things like that, like kind of like with Shrek too. Like I saw the 3rd Shrek and was like, I don't know, guys. I think I'm okay. I'm all right. I'll just let you go on without me. Okay, so I think it's time to think about where the temples are going to be. Because I initially wrote dungeons, kind of got off on a side path about thinking about the fact that some dungeons are going to transfer you from one region to another. That's okay. We're going to call those dungeons caves or corridors. We'll worry about those when the time comes. Your pinky's almost healed. What did you do to your pinky? You like cut it doing something? I can't remember what you did, Dirk. Okay, so dungeon locations, temples specifically. Specifically temples. We're going to have shrines in every region, but temples are going to be like in Zelda, not every region has a temple. But every region that does have a temple, like the temple's a big deal. It's a big part of it. You smashed it against the sofa. Huh, I don't remember hearing about that. Well, that sucks. I'm glad it's almost healed. Okay, actually, wait, maybe I remember something happening to your pinky. Fuck, my memory's terrible. Shrek had a breakdown in the middle with movies 3 and 4, but they're making one more. You want to see what they come up with? Yeah, I can't put in like effort. I'm not gonna go see it. If I opened Amazon to buy something, and they were like, "Hey, we have the new Shrek movie. You want to watch it?" Like, maybe I'd give it a chance. Mike Myers is generally pretty funny. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we have areas that have like prevailing elements that do not have like a dojo. They don't have like a gym equivalent. So maybe it would be kind of cool to give these areas something else. They could just have like more shrines and more puzzles, but I kind of like the idea of them having these temples devoted to gods that have kind of fallen away. Nobody cares for them anymore. Maybe 1 or 2 people still care for them, but it's not enough to keep the place from getting like infested and taken over by beasts. Remembering someone's feet events is totally not main priority info. Oh, so it's your pinky toe, not the finger pinky? Okay, shit. Yeah, I guess it's understandable I didn't remember. Dirk, I used to have like the best fucking memory. I used to remember shit so fucking good. It was like a superpower. And now I just don't. It's fucking brutal. And the reason it's brutal is because I used to be able to be lazy about things. Like, I would just remember when I have a doctor's appointment. I don't need to put it in my calendar. It's fine. And so now I'll catch myself still thinking that that's okay. And then I'm fucking like, oh shit, when is my doctor's appointment? Okay, I think it's this Monday. Is it at 9 o'clock? Is it at 10 o'clock? Fuck. And then like, hopefully they text me a little confirmation message that's like, you have an appointment at 9 o'clock at this address. And then I get saved. But fucking, that doesn't work for everything. There isn't somebody reminding me through automated messages of all the fucking things I should be putting in my calendar. I have gotten better about it, but I'm still not fucking great at it. Okay, so fucking actual things I should do. I should actually figure out where the temples are going to be. So we have a problem where there aren't enough regions that don't have dojos to have temples, but I do feel like those are the ones I should fill out first. And I feel like because the elements, there are 4 elements that are kind of like weird. They're like newer. They're magic that is less well understood. It's more bizarre, more foreign, more eldritch. So I do think we should have temples to the older elements wherever possible. I don't know how many times you've had to ring back asking when your appointment is 2 hours after you booked said appointment. Yeah, it's fucking brutal. I absolutely have done the same thing. Usually they're very nice. There have been 1 or 2 doctor's offices where like I feel like I was bothering the person on the phone that I called, but like it's your job. That's your fucking job. If you didn't need to do that, if you didn't need to schedule appointments and like give information to people, like you wouldn't be there. Like you help people. It's be nice. Be nice. I guess maybe their boss sucks. I don't know. Okay, so we want to put temples where the non-eldritch elements are, when there's no dojo in that area. We'll know there's no dojo because only places with cultural influences have dojos. There's a little asterisk over here, 1 or 2 asterisks. I'm kind of thinking though the last area, like maybe it shouldn't really be a traditional temple. It should be some other kind of dungeon. Some other kind of thing, like you're descending into the depths of the earth from the peak of a mountain and shit's crazy. It's challenging. It is an ancient temple, but not like dedicated to some kind of god. It's something else. That's why they're mad, because they're on the job. I just like, man, some people that I talk to on the phone, the first example I think of is the people who do our heating and air conditioning. The lady who I talked to on the phone, who is the wife of the owner of the company, she's so fucking nice. Like, she just like I have social anxiety dealing with people, and she's just like, so she sounds so happy. I just am like, oh great, like there's no way you could be annoyed with me. Temple for microchips. Whoa. I don't know about that. I do as the player goes further along, I do want there to start being some weird like sci-fi machinery futuristic influences into things. That would be interesting. I feel like if there was ever some kind of like factory, it would be for something big. It's fun to have like large things moving around behind the player or around the player. It wouldn't be like for like, I don't know, like microchips would be. It wouldn't be fun to look at or experience, I don't think. So shit, actually, I need a new column. That is what I'm mentally avoiding here, is I need a new column for dungeons. So let's make this guy bigger. You know what? Let's make him a lot bigger. Shit. Okay, it's gonna get so mad at me. I want to move all these things. Wow, it didn't. Look at that. Okay. Damn. Good job, Miro. Do electrical sheep dream of being sacrificed to a lord, or to Lord like the musician? And I don't know. I don't know what they do. How do I add a fucking column? Let's see, do I need to just... No. Okay, I do feel like it would be... Oh, there's a plus here. What do you do? That is how you do that. Okay, cool. Great. So I guess... No, we'll just make that plural. Okay, so then there's going to be temples. The first place that we could have a temple, regretfully, is an eldritch element. Another spot, Eldritch Element. Okay. So we'll definitely have an electric temple on the Thunder Plains. I guess really I don't even need to like write temple. I just need to put like yes. Like there's a temple here. And you know what? We should just write the element. So then we keep going. We can have a fire temple in region 12. And that'll be fun. It can be like fire and ice because it's in like a cold region with volcanic activity. Wow, so I think those are the only two areas that aren't Eldritch Elements other than the very last area, which honestly, fine. The last area could have an ice temple and then also have the like other plot dungeons that I want to have. That can be fine. Nothing wrong with a late area temple. So then what we could do... Let's see. Okay, so I want to think about this. Do I like the idea of the game being so focused on these 4 more typical elements that you'd actually see generally in nature? Because we already have dojos for each one. And that means that each of the towns and the surrounding areas are going to kind of focus on puzzles that match up with those elements. There are 2 other sub-elements in each area. So the Eldritch elements still get to be involved. There still get to be beasts of those kinds. And then there are regions that are fully influenced by the Eldritch elements. But I feel like it might be leaning too much on the non-Eldritch elements if we also just do temples of that kind. So then the question is, do I think, would 12 temples be too much? That does seem like a lot. This honestly seems like I might need to set up this game and think about it like the way Hollow Knight ended up being. That like, at first it was a small game. But then since the Kickstarter did so well, it was like, okay, they can add more and more to it as time goes on. And eventually Hollow Knight is like an enormous game. You can still beat it in like 15 hours of playtime, but also there's like 100 hours of stuff to do with all the DLCs and all the different endings and extra little things that you can do. So then maybe I should focus on the idea of having, for now, just the non-Eldritch temples. And then we can add in the Eldritch ones if development on this goes really well and I end up with a good amount of support for it. I suppose could be the goal. And especially because again, the idea is that the Eldritch elements are like newer. They're like weird, strange shit from outer space, kind of. I mean, especially the cosmic element, but all of the ideas are supposed to be like weird and foreign. Like psychic attacks or magic as a fundamental force, sonic attacks, less common than like fire spells, electric spells. Have I played Monster Sanctuary? I have played like the first 20 minutes of it. I got it on sale. I played it and I definitely enjoyed it. It didn't like hook me though. It's a Pokemon Metroidvania game, really good in your opinion. Yeah, I should get back into it. It seemed like it had potential. It seemed like it had the potential to be good. It just, yeah, like I said, it just didn't fucking like grab me right away. Okay, so I think the way that I'm feeling, we're going to go with the non-Eldritch elements, which means that certain areas are going to have to do double duty. They're going to have a town with a dojo, and they're also going to have a temple. So really, like, the first area should have a fucking temple, for sure. And I guess, like, really, we could do any of the sub-elements instead. I guess I don't need to feel like I'm required to do the major element. So that could be kind of fun to have them mismatched. So then I think what I want to do is let's copy this. We're going to delete things as we go so that we don't overrepresent things. I remember what I've done. Maybe I can stop myself from getting trapped in a corner. You could have a microchip temple with logic gate types of puzzles. Okay, so I don't know why it has to be microchips. It could just be like a futuristic kind of area. There is story-wise, there will be like a synthetic race of people who are some of them think they should help the people who live on Nair to make them more powerful to prepare for a coming conflict. Some of them think that should not be the case. So they're a bit broken up about whether they should just plunder Nair for resources or whether they should help us. And so if we get into their areas, then we can have like technology-based stuff. Hey, Art and Alexis. What about synthetic people with microchips? Well, okay, so we got onto the topic with microchips. Apparently, a user in chat wants a Zelda-like temple, but dedicated to the concept of microchips. And so then I was saying that because I want there to be a synthetic species that is sort of helping the player, but also sort of against them. We have room to bring that in. That sounds like a great idea. The holy microchip. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. All right, so this is logic gates for puzzles. Absolutely fucking sweet. Like absolutely a thing. For some kind of later game area when the player starts interacting with the synth people. A holy microchip. Sounds tantalizing. I'm putting that in the cool idea zone. You don't know why you said microchips, but you're liking this direction? Yeah, me too. That sounds really cool. What if everyone has a microchip and is controlled by an evil corp? Okay, maybe not evil corp. Not evil corporation, because although we're gonna have some like late stage capitalism stuff in the game, most of the game is like medieval / like steampunk, non-digital technology, analog. All praise the microchips. Oh my god. So like a corporation having a microchip, I don't think would be the thing. But maybe the like the synth species, the robot synthetic people who are here and are unsure whether they should just plunder this place for resources and fight us or should ally with us. Maybe the half of them that wants to ally with us, maybe they're like, maybe they would argue, no, the people that live here could help us. And so then the other people, the other side of the synths who are like, we just want to plunder everything, maybe they're like, okay, we're going to make microchips to just like take over their minds, and then they can be part of our hive mind army. And then the allies would be like, okay, well, like maybe not. Like that's going to remove what we think is valuable about them, which is that they're not machines. They have their own unique perspectives on things, and we need to be united for the coming conflict that's going to happen. And so then maybe the ally synth people come to the player and are like, you got to stop the crazy microchips from being made by the evil people. That doesn't really bring in the idea of it being holy, though. The holy thing still sounds really interesting. Have Elon Musk as a final boss to destroy the Neuralink factory. Oh my god. Look, Elon Musk is petty enough that he would probably like make my life not great if I did that. I'm gonna stay away from that crazy dude in any way I can. The megacorp could be making the corrupted microchips. We could, so like maybe... Because again, specifically the idea of it being a corporation making digital technology is not fitting with the systems that I've been putting into place to set the plot up the way I want. But maybe the evil side of the synth that is making the microchips, they could get help from some large steampunk corporation. Maybe the promise would be that like the people who work for the steampunk corporation, like, you know, they'll get to be on top. They won't get turned into zombies, but like to zombie microchip slaves, but like they totally will. But like, you know, they'll be told they're not going to. It's holy because it's made of blessed materials. I do like the idea of like a machine people having like blessed microchips. It's very cool. Pirates infiltrate the megacorp that usually makes microchips. Oh my god. Something's making the microchips funny and we need to find out. That I agree with. I agree with this idea of like, we need to go investigate the holy microchip situation. And I think the gaps that I've bridged could make it work. Like I said, the evil side of the synth that think we're not worth allying with because it would take a bunch of effort, because organic creatures are unpredictable. They want to control us, so they come up with this idea of making microchips, but then they want to mass produce them, so then they go ally with like some scummy corporation that's like, yeah, sure, as long as you don't try to control us, we'll make the chips for you. Can you eat microchips? I bet you could. I don't think you want to, and I don't think it would be helpful. You know? I don't know. I don't think that would be the way to go. Shit, okay, I gotta get back to picking out zones for temples. Okay, so we already did electric. And that's fine. But I want to focus on having some of the non-major elements having temples. So like we could do fire or electric here rather than earth. So then let's do fire. Oh, actually, okay, wait, hold on. If we're gonna do the non-main elements, let's look in the spots that don't have a city yet. So we could do wind or earth here. I don't want to lock that choice in. Let's see what other options there are. Corrosion or nature here. That's not how you spell nature, bro. Everyone picks a microchip when they turn 18, depending on what they want to be. That's kind of cool. Destiny, the sci-fi fantasy shooter, has some interesting ideas with that. There's a species that of moth larva people, and they eat certain things, and that changes what they turn into when they mature. That's kind of cool. What if a zone is just a giant microchip? Okay, no, but maybe something like a giant circuit board. Like if the synth people, if the evil side is just like, look, we're just going to consume all your resources and turn this place into a giant computer. Like something like that could be very cool. That could be fun. Okay, we could do water, nature here. Forbidden electronic breakfast. Oh my god. Ireland should be poisoned because they drink alcohol. Okay, well, poison's not an element. There is a corrosion element, which could kind of go along with poison. There's also nature as an element, which also, like, nature creates poisons. But yeah, I don't. That's not the direction. That's not the direction we're going. It's just that inspires. We're inspired by our Irish architecture and cultural aspects, not necessarily that negative stereotype. Which I don't even know. There might be other cultures that drink more alcohol. Maybe not. Stereotypes are not always true. Or nature, because Ireland's very green. Yeah, for sure. It's not negative. They're proud of it. Well, I think they could be proud of it, but it could still be negative, you know? Like, alcohol kills people. I love alcohol. It makes me feel great. It also might give me cancer and kill me like 20 years before I would otherwise be dead. Okay, so then actually... Right, no, but you have, nope, you have a culture. So nope, we're just doing ones that don't have cultures. They don't have towns in them. We're trying to spread out the love as much as possible. And then we'll go through and put things where we have to. Okay. All of Europe drank alcohol as a means of sanitizing water. Yeah, so I think that's a fascinating thing about the history of alcohol that I think a lot of people try to just ignore when they like try to act like society is terrible for having alcohol so ingrained into all of its cultures. Like at one point you had to drink alcohol to have safe drinking water. So like it made sense. Like that's why sailors drank grog. Probably now they don't need to do that. Grog was just like you would take high strength, I think rum specifically, and you would mix it with water, and then you bacteria couldn't grow in the water, but you could still get hydrated enough by drinking it. It's a low concentration though. Yeah, but it's still like it makes sense that societies had this ingrained. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, all right. Because alcohol comes from grains, or it can. Okay, good joke. Here, to have a shark laugh. There you go. Good job. But yeah, it was such an essential thing, even though it was consumed in low concentration. It's still like it totally makes sense that society becomes closely tied with those things. Dirtfish eyed me. All right. You got your own shark laugh. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So yeah, hold on. I'm gonna walk this back. We're gonna go for minor elements. Although, man, it does really feel like, you know what? Yeah, no. If there is no gym in the area, going with the major element makes sense. A fire temple in a volcano makes sense. An electric temple at a place called the Thunder Plains, fucking that makes sense. Or I guess that's not the name of it. That's how it would be described. Okay, shit. Fine. So fire and electric still locked in, and then we have all of these secondaries. Yeah, we might do wind in the top. So shit. Okay, so I actually just need the whole list back. Fuck. Okay, now we're gonna copy it again. I don't want water taken off of it just yet. Okay, so fire and ice, right? No, fire and electric. Fire and electric are for sure done. God damn it. No, bro. Miro, why? Oh, it'd be interesting to have a kinetic temple. You live in Germany, but you're half Jamaican, a quarter Brazilian, a quarter English. You're collecting regions and cultures like Infinity Stones. That's cute. Okay, fire and electric. Great. So we still have 6 to put down. Great. Okay. So is there anything that only appears once in these sets of 2? It looks like ice only appears once. So, okay, so we're going to have the ice temple here. And then I guess I should be careful because there's eldritch elements. With the Caribbean, and no, we already got the cultures. We got cultures. We're good. Maybe for like bonus DLC. If I put this on Kickstarter and I let people vote for like a bonus DLC cultural influence, you gotta get in there. Gotta campaign. Okay, so we would have to put wind at the end. So then that would mean we're doing earth here. That's fine. Get rid of those. Okay, so we still need water, nature, and corrosion. We could do water up there, corrosion or nature here. Okay, so corrosion only has one spot that it wants to be in, so that's fine. So corrosion's going to be there. And so then water's got to be up here. And then nature down here. Okay, cool. that actually worked out really well. And so the only place that has both a temple and a dojo is the very first area. But that's totally fine. That's fine with me. I like the idea of, like, I really need to sell the game based on this first area. I want to have a functional first area that is like polished and nice, that makes people be like, oh yeah, you want to do that, but like 20 more places, like, well, okay, not 20, 14 more areas like that. Like, yes, I will. Here's my money. Please bring me a game in 5 years. Woof. Actually, yeah, when did the Hollow Knight Kickstarter end? How long did Hollow Knight take to make? It was revealed November 2014. Hollow Knight Zote song releasing in early 2040. Very cute. Okay, so I thought it would be easier to find when the Kickstarter ended. Google just wants to tell me when it started. So 2014 to early 2017. It's pretty sweet. It's only like 2 or 3 years. Rewheeled. Okay. All right. So I don't know how long the Kickstarter ran for, but even if it was a few months, that's still a pretty good turnaround. I don't think I would be able to match that unless I could find people that would work on this with me. Especially artists. And I guess I could toy with the idea of getting help making art for the first section, either volunteers or even paying people. I know of a few communities with artists that are pretty cool people. And it would be nice. Like, some of them are very good at drawing Pokemon stuff. I don't know if any of them are good environmental artists, though. Specifically pixel art. But God, yeah, without help. Just go to art school quick for 7 years. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. Even if I started spending all my spare time doing pixel art and learning, like, it's not going to be up to the fucking quality. I don't know. Maybe it could be. Maybe I could make something that's good enough that would make people be like, okay, yeah, we'll support you. We'll support you getting an actual artist. We can see your vision. Just barely. Just fucking barely. Okay, where did that thing go? This was the thing we were working with. Okay, so we already figured out all the biomes and the prevailing elements. Okay, so yeah, just like everything's good. That's good. That's fucking done. Is there anything else I want to add to this? So I think later on, I want to add like the influences from deities. And I think the idea is going to be there are no actual gods, just demigods, incredibly powerful people with access to incredible sources of mana. They can do crazy shit, but they're still fallible. They can still be killed. But because they're powerful, they are honored as though they're gods. And maybe some of them pretend to be gods. Maybe some regular people don't want to acknowledge that they aren't actual gods. But story-wise, I want them involved with the creation of the planet. So, like, they have some stake in this place. They made it as a home. They have a good relationship with the people here that they take care of. But also, I guess, in some way, getting worshipped by people is probably pretty rewarding. So they don't just do it because they want to take care of the place. So I think at some point I need to create the deities like in their backstories, but I think I want to do that by figuring out like 2 or 3 elements that influences a deity, and then decide like, okay, what would a nature and wind deity be? How would they represent themselves? Come up with the ideas of where they came from. And so then these areas will be influenced by those deities. I don't think now is the time to do that, but it's definitely something I want regionally. I want that to be some of the influence for an area. So not only the cultures that are there, not only the elements, but also like a deity, a specific god, and some of their personality traits that might influence the kinds of creatures that are going to appear there. But then for now, I think I want to start working through the outline situation. And so I guess we're gonna start with region 1. Nope, it's region 0. I decided to number them like 0 is where you start. Maybe not a great idea. It's already thrown me off once. You always sucked at art, but you found Hollow Knight style art is easier than pixel art. Yeah, I think that's true. I think Hollow Knight style art can look bad animation wise. And I think Hollow Knight's animations are very good. So they do a good job with a it's like a simplistic art style. It's minimalist in certain ways, but because it's so like colorful and cute, it's like you're willing to forgive that. Actually, yeah, I don't even think that's a negative necessarily. It's just not photorealistic. I think it works out really well when you're trying to make a game about bugs. They are like 10 times cuter and much less disgusting in that like low detail art style. But yeah, I think that the animations really sell it. And that is an interesting point that I could potentially not even do pixel art. Try and make the game around just kind of like a minimalist style of some kind. But still, whether pixel art or not, focusing on good animations is so important, and I don't know how to do it. I have never animated anything, and I have drawn very few things that I have been, I don't know, proud of the result of with pixel art. Like I made emotes for this channel. And shit, I need to make some more. But yeah, they're not amazing. They're just okay. Shit. I did not mean to open that. Go away, chat box. Okay. All right. So we need a spot for region 0, and I guess that can just be up here. All right. I need to make a new, what are you? A frame. You're a frame. Is that what that is? That's what that is. Okay. We're going to make a new frame. And can I name you? Oh, I can name you. Shit. Okay. We're going to call this region 0 outline. So then I want to take this information. And hopefully I can just paste that. Shit. Okay. I was afraid it was going to paste down there out of my view. It did not. Okay. So we don't need the ID. Shit. How do I like just delete you as a column? Can I just click delete? Great. Okay. So we're going to need an actual name for you. Currently not totally sold on it being like a temperate bamboo forest, but maybe. And then yeah, maybe we'll choose the deity bit by bit as we go through. Okay, so we have that information, and then I want to get this little outline guide that we're working through. Okay. So I think I need to lock in the exact kind of biome that it's going to be, so that we can start outlining the like map features. But then I do also think before that we can get an idea of some like early conflicts or goals. We have kind of already determined whether there's going to be a temple there or not. I know for sure there will be shrines everywhere. So I think that can just come off this list because we've kind of done it for everything. Okay, so yeah, let's keep going with the biome situation. Wonder, need like amazing bamboo forest pictures. Is this a cool opening area? So I think immediately it's like no, because bamboo forests are very restricting visually. So maybe having a section that is like that, we could have a something like the Viridian Forest. We could have the Viridian Bamboo Forest. Could be a cool idea. And I think showcasing each different kind of environment, each different kind of like area that I want to have, being like putting each of those in the first region would be a good idea. So like Viridian Forest is early on in Pokemon. The Mount Moon is quite early on in Pokemon. Showcasing that stuff early would be cool. So maybe like a bamboo dungeon. What about some lotus ponds? Okay, that sounds cool. Okay. Okay, and then let's always remember the influences are nature, wind, and water. When you're designing a biome, I don't think you really need to think about nature. But influences being wind and water, that goes fucking great with lotus ponds. That's a cool fucking thing. Okay. Where do lotus ponds appear? Is this a real photo? Is this real? I hate not knowing if things are real now. So I feel like we could still do like a forested area, and then any of the areas that like a forested area with ponds. So maybe like temperate forest, lakes and ponds. Specifically, the ponds are lotus ponds. What else? Boy, I hope I have the... I use Firefox specifically for streaming, and I've never turned the like image filtering off, but hopefully there's not going to be any not safe for work stuff. Lotus roots grow in lots of different shallow bodies of water. So you think that would fit? Yeah, that's cool. Well, okay, there's a guy without a shirt. Yep, that's kind of what I was worried about. But at least he's a guy. I think that's okay for Twitch and YouTube. Okay, so trying to bring in like the wind influence, it could be kind of cool to have giant lily pads that get blown around. That is definitely an idea that I stole from Pikmin. Actually, okay, well, hold on. In Pikmin, they're tiny lily pads. They're just regular lily pads because you're a super tiny guy. So, all right. There, I made it my own by making them giant. Let's close that. Wish I could just see these as bigger previews. Ooh, can I actually... Hold on. Can you just show me, like, just high resolution? Yeah. Large resolution. Thank you. Thank you. So... I need other ways to showcase, like, water and wind in ways that they can be interacted with to make puzzles. So... And actually, I kind of realized this isn't like... This isn't just biomes. This is like... descriptors of the area. So we'll go ahead and bold temperate forest. But then everything else after this is kind of, you know, like describing the biome as a whole. So shoot, actually, no, right. I wanted to add waterfalls and then maybe like what the fuck does wind do? It like makes wind, oh my god, wind makes wind, yes. Wind makes like flowers or like plants like lean. So like maybe like moving plants with wind could be an idea. So all of this is going to determine the kinds of things that I design environmentally. Okay, so then how about we just look at show me amazing forest photos. Whoa. That's some crazy shit. Did somebody intentionally bend those trees? That's fucking weird looking. Fascinating. Okay. Again, might just be AI art, so I don't fucking know. Could also focus on like spreading pollen. That's something that you could do with wind. Lotus are invasive and cruel? Like just the plants? Or is this like a species of creature from something? Due to large dense colonies, it can produce if released into natural areas from cultivation. This is specifically the sacred lotus. Interesting. Well, that sucks. That's too bad. Check the back of a lotus leaf? What does the back of them have to do with them being cruel? They look crazy. They look like some weird fucking mutant creature with a million legs. They have spikes on them. Oh. Well, that sucks. So then that makes them like more invasive? Whoa. Oh, this looks crazy. Okay, Durga sent us a video. Hold on, I'm gonna mute it. It's making some weird noises. That is a lot of spiky things. Listen to this weird underwater noises. Oh, was that about to be David Attenborough? Say something, David. This is exactly the kind of shit he would make. Yep.
By wielding one of its buds like a club.
Wow. Okay, yeah, so they're assholes. All right. Well, look. You evolve to live in your environment, okay? And if you have to be an asshole, then that's how you survive. And then it's not your fault if somebody takes you into a new environment and nobody's ready for you to kick so much ass, and then you just take over. You know, it's like, it's not your fault. No lotus you've ever seen looks anything like that. Well, apparently, that's a kind of lotus. I don't know. I'd fucking... Oh, this is specifically a giant water lily. Are lilies lotuses? Are lilies lotuses? Ooh, they're different. Okay, Dirk, hold on. These are different. So lily pads are bastards. Giant lily pads are bastards. not necessarily lotuses. Very, very cool shit, though. That's a cool picture. Like giant ass trees. Okay, so are there forests near bamboo forests? Like, I can't really visualize how I would make the transition into a bamboo forest. But I guess really it could just be you get to a spot where there is enough moisture that bamboo starts being the prevailing thing, growing densely. This looks really cool. Ooh, beautiful. Okay, not what I'm looking for. Look back at the lotus images. They don't really have pads as much as leaves that sometimes touch the water surface. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think they just also exist near lily pads, which is probably what sent Dirk down his thought process. And also I was talking about having giant lily pads. So again, another reason that Dirk could have gone down the thought process he was going down. Okay. So what else would be interesting? I think the idea of waterfalls to access paths is really cool. Like an area that you can't get to until you send the flow of water somewhere else. Maybe puzzles that involve pollen spreading around, which means like I want to, as part of the design for the biome, there will just be like pollen floating in the air, as well as a denser, thicker kind of pollen that the player can interact with for puzzles. Okay, hold on. What about like a cool village in the trees? That might be a very cool first town to make. Oh, hey, Magic the Gathering card. I think I have one of these. A treetop village? I don't know about that specific one. Oh, yeah, no, this one. I have this one. I have the very old one. Shit. This is cool. James RPG art. Cool shit, dude. Okay, so the maybe specifically, where would I want to put this? Maybe still just in descriptors. So maybe like a treetop village. Maybe this would be the cool place to have a treetop village. And then also like a bamboo forest dungeon. It can kind of be like Viridian Forest with like the idea is that it's so dense of an area, it's essentially like a little dungeon. Only one in, one out. Well, I guess, okay. Each entrance is also an exit. So 2 ins, 2 outs. Okay. I feel like I still want more visuals. How would you incorporate wind and water? Water going to new areas will like make plants grow, but I don't know if it makes sense to show that on a short-term scale. I guess, yeah, if we're gonna have waterfalls, then we definitely want like creeks and rivers. And then I suppose that can bring along like, nope, that's not how tab works. That's not what you want. We can have like rock and log puzzles if we have like rivers. Water might return to wells. Okay, how would we use that? And are we talking like natural wells? We're talking like wells that people use? So then maybe like maybe the player investigates, tries to help get water to like a farm or something because it got blocked off or something. pH springs too. Do you mean hot springs? Hot springs are a cool idea. I think that might fit more with a later... you meant, springs too. Okay, yeah, for sure. That might fit better in a later area. Like maybe a more tropical place or somewhere in one of the very late zones. I feel like I would associate springs with heat. Replenish your poke's stamina mid-exploration. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. The way that Hollow Knight does it. That could be a way of making a difficult area more traversable. We could have the bamboo forest. Like maybe the idea is like the bamboo forest will be a very dangerous place. So then we put these nice little safe zones for the player. I hate, but I also love when I'm like one little push away from the next save spot in a game and I don't know, so I turn around and retreat like all the way back to heal. And then I get back to where I was and I go a tiny bit ahead and then I see the safe zone and a spot to heal and I'm like, it's terrible, but it's also fun. I think it really reinforces the nature of not knowing what is ahead of you. That always feels really good. You mean just like freshwater springs? Well, okay, so not hot. Yeah, I was thinking small and natural, but still hot. I feel like the general... Are all springs not hot? I guess they're not, right? They could just be regular temperature water. There are just cold springs. All right. Now, if it's for chilling out and relaxing, I do feel like it should be a hot spring because that's generally like heat is soothing to the human body, to animals as well. Help heal those muscles, help you relax, relieve tension. But so talking about springs does make me think about like raising and lowering water levels. So not just a waterfall to access things, but like water pools with raising and lowering water levels. Damn, this is too long of a sentence. Okay, so how about just water pools as a thing, and then raising, lowering water levels as a separate idea? You just take a small seep. Oh my god. Is that seep like sip, or seep like steep, or like it's seeping into you? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I want more focus on wind. And then we should also like mentally review nature as an element. Oh my god, this board is enormous. So nature as an element is focusing on spores. Potentially poison. Ooh, vines that restrict. Okay. So maybe focusing on vines poison spores. I'm gonna like type those keywords over here. Just to okay, so like vines, we can literally just have vines, right? And that seems like a powerful thing to associate with nature as an element. Obviously, yes, all of these things are in nature, so they are nature, but we're talking about nature as a magic element, like given that specific personality of like the magical forces of life and growth. Vines are a great way to represent that. And I guess honestly, I'll put you toward the top. Nope, that's going to be bold. What if I do that? Boom. And maybe like vines blocking paths or vines making paths. Let's look at giant vines. Whoa, dude. What the fuck? That looks crazy. Oh yeah, of course, it's from Shutterstock. Thank you, Shutterstock. Bro, this is fucking cool. Okay, so having puzzles that you could solve that would like extend vine bridges out is kind of a cool idea. Also potentially limiting the character's movement unless they get an ability like cut to cut down vines seems like something we could easily represent here. So the vines blocking paths. Maybe, nope, you can't just tab. You can't just tab in there. Say like cut and burn. For vines making paths, like nourish. We want to like nourish them. Yeah, I guess I'll just leave it as nourish, sure. So like maybe there's a dried out vine that you can get wet and it'll move in a certain way. And maybe there are lots of vines that you could do that to, and there's no point other than for the player to understand that like, oh, if I rehydrate a vine, it'll move. And so then they have to figure out, oh, I can get to that treasure chest if I rehydrate the first vine and the third vine. It'll move them in a way so now with all of the vines where they were initially, plus the first one and the third one moved because they've been rehydrated, boom, that makes a path I can cross. That's fun. That's cool. That's a cool idea. Also kind of gives an idea of like maybe the god that lives here is some kind of like vine creature or she represents herself as that. I like the concept in Magic the Gathering. Many moons ago in Magic the Gathering, the idea was that you played as a thing called a planeswalker. A planeswalker was a once mortal person who died, and instead of just their existence disappearing, they transcend and they have a spark that ignites, and they are now no longer tied to like a physical form, or rather their physical form can just look like anything they want. So like there's a guy who likes to just be a big dragon man. A lot of planeswalkers just look like how they used to look when they were humans. There's one guy that likes to be a big panther guy. They can represent their physical form however they want. I feel like I like that idea with a deity being a mortal creature that became so in tune with these elements that now they represent themselves that way. Like maybe she is humanoid, but her dress is like actually made out of vines. Something like that. Maybe if you get her mad, her vines are gonna like reach out and smack you in the face or something, you know, just like, bro, like a vine monster. Oh, that's okay. We're saving that picture right now. That's fucking cool. That's a cool thing. Yesha the Crawling Queen as like a name for a deity. Crawling sounds not majestic. I feel like a deity of nature, wind, and water would be majestic. Maybe not, though. Whoa. Giant vines and towering trees, ancient forest unearthed. Well, now, of course I'm gonna go visit that. That sounds cool. That's it? That's just that illustration? An artist rendition of the 380 million year old forest at Gilboa, New York. Oh, it was in New York. Cool. Huh. All right. This ended up being boring. Sorry, Life Science. Great time for a pop-up. I'm out. Nature isn't majestic, it's conquering. Now, it can be both. I think that's part of its beauty, right? Is it like nature has this horrible aspect to it where like everything that lives from things that are dying. But it still has this like beauty about it. This like slow, relentless growing beauty. Also on Wind, one thing, a dandelion. Yeah, that's such a like Genshin Impact does that. Their first area is like wind themed, and boy, the dandelion comes up a lot. It is a great visualization. All right, you know what? Like things are a trope for a reason. I'm gonna put it with a question mark though. I'm questioning it. Having flowers or a plant that works like that, where the player can like spread them, just by running through them, or by like doing a little wind blast attack, like spread them more violently everywhere all around. That seems fun. I do think maybe I want to do something similar, but like kind of weird. You could have large shoot seeds. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Is that what they're called? No, that's just a thing. Shoot. Like floating seeds. Here we go, this thing. There are seeds that like have little gliders. And they like fall from huge trees and just like kind of glide through the air. Shoot like parachute, yeah, for sure. I looked up shoot and it was a shoot, like a different kind of shoot. A guide for falling seeds. A farm mechanism. But yeah, all of these kinds of things. Milkweed seeds. Okay, so I think, yeah, instead of dandelions, let's go with like floating / gliding seeds. I think that's a really fun visual thing to have. Not only like from top down, like just things in the background or like visuals only that are just kind of adding flavor to the world. Seeing little gliding seeds or floating seeds, just animated in the foreground is cool. But also thinking about using these as a kind of puzzle, especially in the dungeon or the temple. I think is a very cool idea. We could also... I think maybe I need to start adding specific puzzle ideas for the temple. Because when you're talking about water, like flooding rooms, that's like such a classic thing. The Zelda water temple, flooding rooms. Maybe like filling buckets and then like comparing the weight of water, having that like scales, like a measuring scale controlled by like water buckets. Could be an interesting kind of puzzle mechanism. Moving blocks with wind or water, also interesting. I love rooms, like puzzle rooms where you have multiple mechanics you're dealing with, and each of the mechanics can interact with something, but a different way. So then it becomes up to you, the player, to realize like, okay, wind pushes a block like this, water pushes it like that. I need to move these 6 blocks to make a bridge. How do I go about doing that? If I use wind here, but water there, no, that doesn't quite work. I need to use wind here and water right there. Okay. That's really fun. I think that's an easy way to just like make emergent puzzles, is to have essentially tools that affect the same object but in different ways, and then you have multiples of those objects and limited ways in which to influence them, maybe like limited spots for the player to stand to hit them with wind, and limited places to have water come out to affect them. Okay. This might be enough for the visuals of an area. And it will help guide choosing the like the beasts that are going to be in the area. Which that might have to be, oh shit, okay, we're almost out of time. That might have to be the next stream, is actually coming up with the first few creatures that are going to be in here. I have a list now of I think like 80 or 90 like creature ideas that are just like, oh, these are cool animals, make an elemental version of them. And then a shorter list of like 20 ideas or so that are like, oh, here's some actual like silly names or themes, like what if you did the Eevee evolutions, but instead of like dog or cat-like creatures, they were like bears that had like their skin is like geodes, and you have the geodes matching different elements. Oh my god, I'm blanking on the color of any geode. What's a blue geode? Show me a cool blue geode. There we go, agate. That's the one. So like the cosmic element golem might be purple. Golem bear thing might be like purple. And be an agate. And then oh my god, what is? There's a green geode. What is the? It's like fucking emerald. That. Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. Sometimes like social anxiety just destroys your brain. When you're like, oh no, I'm having trouble thinking of an idea. Then your brain is like, great, I'm just gonna think about now how I'm having trouble thinking of the idea. It's fucking insane. It is the dumbest waste of human potential maybe ever. Probably worse. Okay, probably like. There's worse ones, but maybe not, honestly. Social anxiety is constantly sapping millions of people's productivity and comfort and just everything. It just sucks. Okay, so yeah, let me make a quick little note here. So we might need to design beasts. And let me put that above design beasts? Question mark? Like, I think that's what we're gonna need to do next. Because essentially I can't keep like outlining map features without kind of determining what creatures are going to be here. So I guess we'll go through the list of animals that I have and the ideas that I have. We'll try to fit cool ones for this area. Maybe figure out if we can come up with like fun punny names. It's not gonna be too serious. Like, sure, stuff like Charmander and Bulbasaur, definitely, but they can be silly. My current example for something that could be silly is like a Yeti, but it looks like he's made of spaghetti, so his name is Spug Yeti. Things like that are fine. Silly shit is absolutely fine. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the next thing to do. We can also figure out like the conflicts and goals, like how I want the quest to start scaling. Yeety. Oh my god, that could be like the baby form. But yeah, I also need to figure out evolutions, and that I think can become that becomes very difficult. And one thing I have to really give it to the Pokemon monster designers. Obviously, the art is great. Like, shoot, it was like 1 or 2 people that did most of the art for the original 151s. Like these like initial watercolor concept designs. Like those people fucking nailed it. But also like the idea of like Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, that kind of thing. There's a dragon whose name is like 1, 2, and 3 hidden inside of each of his forms in German. Like that kind of shit is really clever. So we might need to spend some time making some fucking, like, the early area needs to have the most clever fucking creatures, because like that, if that's how I'm gonna sell this game to people, if that's how I'm gonna convince them to either help me work on it or kickstart it, like, the creatures gotta grab people. That is the main fucking thing. Who cares if it's cool tactical combat with fun environmental interactions? If the beasts aren't cool, so many people are going to be out. So yeah, I think like maybe we'll do that a little bit until I get like kind of, I don't know, stuck or bored of it. And then we'll go back to designing the like conflicts, because I think those will largely be detached from the kinds of creatures that are there. The conflicts are going to be like there's a historian in the area investigating something. There is soldiers in the area that are destroying or plundering something. Figure out who they are, why they're doing what they're doing. Maybe they're directly in your way. You, the player, need to get a tool from a dungeon, and they're in the dungeon being little fuckheads. So like maybe your goal is to figure out why they're there. Maybe you can just attack them, kill them all, get them to leave by talking to their boss. Who fucking knows? But I want to make kind of like an overarching game outline of like, if you could compare it to Pokemon. When you start Pokemon, you're just like, oh, I'm just going on a Pokemon adventure. Professor Oak gave me a Pokemon and he's like, go catch Pokemon and fill your Pokedex, right? And then you're like, he doesn't even tell you like there's gyms. He's not even like, okay, so what you're going to want to do is go to these gyms to get stronger, so that then stronger Pokemon will obey you and you can go to the Pokemon League. Like, he doesn't even fucking tell you that. Like his shitty grandson or whoever Gary is, Blue, like he tells you that shit while being a dick to you. But that expands your character or your understanding of the game, right? At first you're like, I'm just going out to catch Pokemon. And then you're like, oh, there's like gym challenges. There are challenges for me to complete. And those challenges are like elementally themed. So I need to build my team around them. It's not just exploring anymore. Now we have like combat challenges we're trying to meet. You get to Mount Moon and you're like, okay, to get further in the game, I have to be able to survive getting through this dungeon, which is not that hard, honestly, but it is still a challenge. In between figuring those things out, you're told by your rival that there is a whole Pokemon League, and that's the whole reason that you need to get all 8 badges. They wouldn't let him in without 8 badges, fucking ignoring the fact that all he's got is like a level 8 fucking Charmander and a level 8 Pidgey. Like, he would get his ass kicked if he tried to just go to the fucking Indigo Plateau and fight the Elite Four. But fine, okay, so now you know not only are there gym challenges, but it leads up to this final situation where you're going to fight the Elite Four. It leads to a championship situation. But then as you go further in the game, you also find out about little individual conflicts, like Lavender Town has the like tower. You have Team Rocket, who are they're kind of a side thing, right? Like, they're a problem, they're bad, so like you stopping them feels good, like they're criminals, but they are directly in your way at multiple points. Like, at multiple points, you have to interact with them to get like to get the Pokemon Flute to wake up Snorlax. So like all of these threads, like you want to explore further. That's like the whole driving force in the game is you want to explore and catch cool beasts and get stronger. But then kind of like challenges and roadblocks are placed in your way, and the scale of it keeps rising. Like, eventually you have defeated Team Rocket. Like, these people, this fucking crime organization got in your way because you needed to wake up a Snorlax, and then like you end up like defeating them. Like, that's crazy. It's raising stakes, and so I want something like that. but with more things. Soldiers that are coming here from their country, scientists who are maybe being a little unscrupulous, being dangerous, archaeologists who just want your help to expand information, and then each of these groups will kind of have a push and pull with the things that they want, the things that they take, the things that they'll give in order to help other groups. And so and therein lies the initial conflict of the game, but then it grows to a point where you realize there is actually grave danger. There are things that would destroy us, things that would destroy the entire planet, kind of a situation. So eventually the scale of the conflict grows to I need to save this nation to I need to save the planet. Is the idea. So I think I need to outline that stuff, but that can be a separate thing we can do in tandem with the beasts. I'll give it some thought over the week and maybe make a little bit of a basic outline, but I think we can kind of figure it out on stream. Dirk, what did you say? A 1 hour lecture report? Imagine having a 1 hour lecture report BBC movie while not being engaged by game in tutorial. Wait, do you mean by an in-game tutorial? Wait, what? What, Dirk? Is this a warning? Are you trying to tell me that I need to be careful about this information because it's like a lecture? It's damn it. Sometimes Dirk's crypticness is too cryptic. Okay, well, either way, it's time to wrap up the stream. I think this was relatively productive. It is what you mean. Okay. Yeah, I think, again, we've talked about it. Relying on environmental storytelling and a minimal tutorial. A nice interactive tutorial that is that makes sure you do and understand things, but is very limited. And then environmental storytelling that the player can choose to engage with or not is, I think, a great way to create a deep and immersive world that doesn't get in anybody's way. If someone's I don't give a fuck about this place, I'm just here to see the cool, weird monsters and kick people's butts, then they can do that. And they'll only deal with limited talking, limited lore. But if they want to learn everything, they can read the description pages on items. They can inspect murals on the walls of ruins. They can talk to historian characters more than they need to. You're gonna have to talk to them to deal with plot relevant main storyline stuff, but you could talk to them more about other cool stuff. You could collect artifacts for them and learn about them if you want to. There's a fly in here. All of it will be at your own leisure or at your own desire to engage with, minus the absolute minimal mainline story stuff, Yeah. So it's in here. More of it we'll get it more and more out in here, and also in the wiki that I'm building. Well, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff, and I'm fucking scatterbrained. So we're just a piece at a time. It'll get there. It'll get there. So yeah, time for me to wrap up. This was fun. I feel like this was mostly productive. Sorry I was a few minutes late. That's it. Have a nice day. Take it easy. Take care of yourself. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. I'm playing Hollow Knight tomorrow. Come hang out. Or I'll see you in a week when we make more lore. I don't know. Bye. Have a nice day.